Our show, the Gutter and Saint podcast. You already know we won't be bullied. We bully the bullies, and we turn our intellect into a check, man. Today we're gonna be talking about divorcing because you're not happy. Now, is that a thing? Now or what's going on? This discussion is brought to you by a TikTok that I posted that went viral, went super viral, man. And I got TikTok down there at the other screen. My folk in TikTok, y'all ain't gonna be able to see us, on the screen. But if you go over to Gutter and Saint, clicking the link in the bio, and come over to YouTube and Facebook, y'all be able to chime in with the rest of the folk at on YouTube and all that. But we gonna talk about my controversial video that went viral, concerning Tia Mowry getting divorced from her husband, because she felt like that she wasn't happy. See, we got some people down in TikTok land. But without further ado, man, let me play this video. Can y'all hear me good on TikTok land? Can y'all hear me good? Hit the one, hit the number one button if you can hear me good. Hit number one if y'all can hear me good. But let's play the video. Said through sickness and health, through for better or for poor, to death do us. I don't care what nobody say. Tia Mowry is bugging. She had this to say about her marriage.
I look at it as like a curriculum. And at the end of that curriculum, and at the end, there's a graduation.
Then she had this to say. I don't care what nobody say. Tia Mowry is bugging. She had this to say about her marriage.
I look at it as like a curriculum. And at the end of that curriculum, and at the end, there's a graduation.
Then she had this to say.
My marriage was a success.
Yeah.
So by Tia's own admission, her marriage was a success. I thought Val said through sickness and health, through for better or for poor, to death do us part. But feminism is taking over the black community and have black women thinking like this. I love what Michelle Obama had to say.
We have to understand that marriage is never 50-50. But if I look over my marriage, if I were to judge it in year 5 or year 10, there was never 50-50. Somebody was always giving way more. Someone always needed a different kind of thing. You have to evolve with it. There were times when I felt like I was 70% in and he was doing 30%. And I've had to compromise as he has. Those are the natural compromises that are required. And I feel bad when I see young people giving up on their relationship.
Preacher Boy Inc.
So, for all the people that's in TikTok land, if y'all want to chime in on today's show, go to the link in the bio. You'll see it on YouTube. You'll see it on Facebook. You'll see us live right now on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram and all that stuff. If you want to chime in tonight's show on divorcing, because you're not happy, man. This is a good show. I got two of my brothers on here right now. We're gonna be chopping this up on, is it legit to get divorced because you're just not married? If you didn't, try to gain understanding on the reason why you should be getting married, man. Yo, hit a number one inside the chat if y'all hear me good. I need y'all to hit number one inside the chat if you hear me good on TikTok. Now, go ahead. Y'all go and introduce yourself.
It's the boy VP, man.
Got the boy VP.
Capital KRD.
Capital KRD. So, tonight we're gonna be talking about, man, divorcing because you're not happy. Now, there's a lot of controversy going on behind Tia Mowry. What's the Brett? What's his daggone name? Vern. Peyton Manning.
Whose name?
Not Peyton Manning. The dude that's getting divorced from his wife. What's his name?
Tom
Vern?
Brady.
Tom Brady. People is getting divorced because they feel like they aren't they aren't happy. And my whole thing behind happiness is, what is happiness? That's my question. What is happiness? If you took vows for better or for worse inside your marriage, that means things can possibly get bad and things can possibly, things could possibly be good and things can possibly go bad in a relationship. And we need to chop this up. We need to chop this up. So
Yeah, marriage.
let's
No, go
let's
ahead.
let's chop this up.
Marriage, marriage can go good or bad, but it's how long do you let it go bad?
How do you
You
let
know
it
what
go
I'm
bad?
saying? Yeah, how long do you let it go bad?
Well, a lot of times,
Because I mean, yeah, marriages have the ups and downs, but people be staying in relationships for 20, 30, 35, 40 years unhappy.
mhm,
What's the point in that? I don't
what's
see
the
no
point?
point in that. No, I don't see no point in that. If yo, I'm not. I got one life to live, so yeah, I understand. You know what I mean? Marriage gonna have ups and downs. You're gonna have your stuff you go through. But if
Mhm,
your marriage is going through bad for years on end, years on years and on years on end of bad, and you done
mhm.
tried every communication, you done tried every intervention you can do, and it's not working. What do you do at that point?
What do you do at that point? So
Yeah,
the thing is, it all boils down to communication. If
yeah.
you're
So
not
I'm what I
communicating effectively in your marriage, right? Look, you took a vow to be with this person for the excuse me. You took a vow to be with this person for the rest of your life. So essentially, let's say you got married year 1, if you're at year 20, of course you're going to change. Then you're going to evolve. Your mindset is not going to be where you're at when you was your first year. So if you took a vow to be with a person for the rest of your life, it's important that y'all both grow together. Happiness is subjective because here's the thing: one minute you can be really happy with your spouse, the next minute you're disappointed. But that doesn't mean that doesn't give you grounds to go divorce. Now I understand that things build up over the course of time, but the reason why a lot of people end up getting divorced because things built up over the course of time is mainly because it wasn't effectively communicated. If you're not
okay.
communicating effectively, how can you
Okay,
effectively be
so
happy?
so my so my question to you is, if you've effectively communicated it and it's been a long period of time
Mm.
and nothing is getting better, what do you do at that point?
Did you get counseling? Did you go through counseling? Did you
You did
you
all that.
exhaust
You did
did you
counseling.
exhaust all your resources?
You did all you exhausted all your resources. You effectively communicated. You tried therapy. You tried all that stuff, and it,
Mhm.
it ain't working.
So
What do you do?
so now that's a decision that you and your spouse will have to make. If your spouse is willingly, well, not willingly, if your spouse is purposely not trying to make you a part of their life, far as like your joy, your happiness, your peace, your patience in your household, then you have to communicate. Hey, look, this is what's happening, and if this don't effectively get better, then this is where we gonna end up. We gonna end up divorced.
Yeah,
And I'm
but
sure people
your
do that.
partner, yeah, your partner, and your partner don't got to be doing something purposefully. It could be just something that's just not working out. Y'all grew apart.
But still,
You sitting here, hold on, you saying that you grow together. What if you don't grow together? Everybody don't grow together.
and you're
Sometimes
right.
you going
Everybody don't grow
hold
together.
on, hold on. Sometimes you
Let
going in
them
your
talk,
mental
man.
direction and that person going in their mental direction. So if
Mhm.
y'all going in two separate mental directions, what do you do at that point? Because
All
y'all
right.
not one person. It's not
That's a
like
good
y'all
question.
in sync. Y'all not in sync
It's
like
it's the same as like when you're in a relationship.
That's a good
You
question.
thought you were going in one way, and then you find out, okay, they don't want to do that, and they don't want to do this.
Hmm.
Then what?
Yep.
somebody said harmony that should be established before marriage. What should be
Absolutely.
established
People
before
lie.
marriage?
People
No,
Absolutely.
but
lie.
hold on.
People lie.
No, but hold on. What do you mean? What should be established before marriage?
So I believe he's talking about what we were saying in the beginning, about
Like what?
your
Help me
needs, your
understand.
wants, your desires, and career goals, and because of course, when you're in a relationship, you're dealing with two people who have different goals, different aspirations, different things that they want out of life. So it should be established in the beginning, your goals, your wants, and if you're working effectively to get it, then of course, it should be discussed.
I know, but what if things change over time?
Yeah, things change. Yes, things change because it's things that I desired when I was in my 20s that I don't desire in my 40s. You see what I'm saying? So things change.
I know, but what you established before your marriage, 15, 20 years in can change. Hold on now. If that person is going in a direction that you don't want to go, like I gave the example, she want to travel the world. Now she want to go travel the world on a worldwide mission for 5 to 10 years, and you ain't trying to do that. So then, what do you do in that point?
Mm-hmm. So, but that's what
the situations that come up.
Yeah. She might go on a mission where she on a missionary mission overseas where she helping
and
kids for 10 years.
Yeah, you trying to become a pilot or some shit like that. Yeah.
Yeah, you trying
then
to
what?
Yeah, so then what?
And neither one of y'all don't want to give.
Yeah.
You gotta break up for that.
Now, I understand that, but how often let's try to talk about something that we can all, like see happening because all right, everybody ain't going on no mission.
You can see that happen.
Let's talk about let's talk about career changes. Let's talk about a career change.
All right, let's talk about
that's not big enough.
No, that is big enough because people.
That's not big enough for you to say, "Oh, I'm going to leave you for that." That's stupid.
If we not growing together as a couple,
totally different way.
Hold on, Harmony King said, if we're not growing together as a couple before marriage, it ain't going to work. What's that supposed to mean? I don't know, Harmony King.
But that makes sense.
Hold on.
No,
you should be able to. Huh? Go ahead, Kyle.
We talking about once you're married.
Yeah, we talking about once you're married.
But I believe certain things should be established before marriage.
But that can change.
You're going to tell me that before
the
marriage,
basics are you start. All right, let's talk about. We could talk about this. It's some people who get into a relationship thinking that, okay, one spouse might want kids, the other spouse may not want kids.
Yeah. So you get into that relationship and you get into a marriage, which she keep on telling you because she wants to be married.
Yeah.
She keep telling you, she wants kids, and then when you get married,
you thinking that her mind gonna change.
So you supposed to. So no. Say she's saying to you that, yeah, you want kids badly, and she's saying, yeah, we gonna have kids, yeah. Until as soon as she get married, then she be like, I don't want no kids. Then what? You ain't backing up that?
Anybody on TikTok, make sure y'all go over, click the link in my bio, click on our YouTube and our Facebook. We live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. If you can't see the chat that's going on, we're talking about divorcing. If divorcing is being unhappy, is a reason to be divorced. So if you want to chime in on this, man, it's going down inside on our Facebook and YouTube page. But yeah, and I understand that. I understand that. But still, if let's say
what do you understand?
Hold on. Oh, that's my bad. Who's playing the music? Oh, all right. Okay. Harmony said, "What if I am contemplating marriage? Is this a conversation for only married folk?"
Yes. This is a conversation for all.
Yes.
It's a conversation for all. It's a conversation for all.
Not really, because you're talking about once you're married, them changing.
But I believe,
before you marry, if it don't work out, it's whatever.
I got
break up all the time.
Me personally, like I know exactly what I want from a woman. I know, I know if I want to, if she don't want to have kids, if she want to have kids, you got to ask these questions. Where she want to be financially, the goals she's trying to get to financially, where do you see you guys in 60 years? Are you willing to go through rain, sleet, hell, snow if we hit those rough times? Because you got to remember, inside your vows it says for better or for worse. So the possibility of things getting worse is 50-50.
I know. So let me ask
But you acting like people don't lie on both sides.
What you mean lie?
Oh, I'm gonna take. People lie.
What you mean lie? I mean, you can't. Relationships is not exempt from problems.
No, but
No,
what
they
I'm
not
saying is
exempt.
people lie.
No,
You bought into thinking it's something else sometimes,
Yeah.
and then it'd be something else. And you think because you made a mistake, you got to pay for that for the rest of your life.
What kind of mistake though?
For instance,
and choosing a person that
If somebody
move
cheated?
with you, no.
No,
If
what
she
if
told
you
you
chose?
before y'all was married, if she told you, yeah, I'm gonna move with you to Alaska. Then when you get married, she don't want to move to Alaska. You don't think that's a problem?
That's a problem. That's a problem.
You married her under the
That's a
concept that
problem.
she was going to move there, and women do that all the time. Men do it.
Yeah, men do it. Men do that a lot too.
I'm gonna do everything for you, and then they do the minimum.
My question to you, bro, is how long is a person supposed to stay unhappy? If these problems are arising and they not being fixed, how long do you stay unhappy?
All right, so
because at some point you got to go.
All right, so the question is, why are you unhappy?
Because you spent years. Hold on, and from ours, you spent years trying to fix this. It's not working out. Nothing is changing. So you spending years unhappy, you miserable, day after day, week after week.
But what is your spouse doing to make you unhappy like that? Like what is happening? What is happening in your relationship that every day you're so unhappy with your spouse?
Whatever it can be.
Whatever it can be, like what?
Every relationship is different. Every relationship is different. So it's whatever that could be.
But you're not explaining. Case in point. All right, okay. Let's say your wife is mad because you're not taking out the trash. Is that a reason to get divorced?
No, that's silliness. That don't
so
make
the question, that's what I'm saying. So what started the unhappiness? Like we gotta be able to explain, how do we get to the point of being so unhappy with your spouse that you're willing to just go ahead and divorce and just move on?
It's many situations. So you want to like narrow it down to something. It could be many situations that bring on issues in a relationship.
Folk in TikTok.
People can start changing from what you used to.
I see a lot of people on TikTok right now, right? All right. I got a question. And I see a couple ladies in there. What is the reason? What makes you unhappy in your relationship?
Every woman is different. How you going to ask every woman is different, bro?
We talking to the ladies on TikTok right now.
I know, but you're saying what makes you unhappy. Every woman is different. You can't sit there and ask a broad question. Like, every woman is different. What makes one woman unhappy may not make the next woman unhappy. There
are many situations. Our sister, like that? You know what? Hey, I want to bring my sister on. Hey,
exactly,
Iris,
bro.
do you want to come on? Because I email you the our link to come on if you want to come on, because I actually did her podcast. I did a podcast, and we had to do it over, but this would be a good conversation for my sister.
Right, I'm gonna give you an example for a woman. Like I said, in the Tom Brady situation, this dude been playing for 20 years. If what allegedly happened is she wanted him to retire at a certain time, and it was like they had an agreement on that. He reneged on that. He went retired, then came back. So he reneged on that. So now she like, yo, that caused her.
I'm gonna send you the link right now.
She been waiting for this dude to come home, and now he like, nah, I'm gonna keep playing football for whatever many years.
But that's all he's trying to do.
Yeah, that's all he wanted to do.
You destroy his happiness to be happy with what you want. I understand if he should have never said that. He shouldn't have never said that.
No, I'm not saying I'm not saying for him.
No, I'm talking about as far as like, he shouldn't have said he would retire after a certain age, and he knew he wanted to play like deep down. Like, if that's what make you happy,
but sometimes men say that just to make their wife happy.
No, but that's all good, Cal. I know, but Cal, what I'm saying is
saying something that wasn't true.
I know, but Kyle, what
Go
I'm
ahead.
saying is, if that dude make him happy, right, and he want to keep playing football, right, should she
I just sent it to you,
Damn,
Iris.
I'm all stuttering. Should she sit there the next 5-10 years and just wait and be
No,
miserable?
no,
That's
that's our
that's my
choice.
point.
But my question
that's
is,
what I'm
how is
saying.
she miserable?
What you mean if
Because she
want
want to
her
do
husband?
stuff with her husband, bro. She ain't
Yeah,
marry him to sit on the
There,
sidelines
there
and
is
play
a
all day.
whole 7 months of an off season.
that don't mean
Bro,
nothing, bro.
are you
That don't mean
serious?
I'm
you gotta
serious.
train. You
You
gotta do
can't be
all
serious.
type of. It's
He
not
get
no
he get a
7 months
7-month
off
vacation.
season. No, you don't get no 7-month vacation. You
Yes,
gotta
you do.
train. You gotta do all, bro. You gotta do all type of stuff. So you saying like she want the boy home full time?
All right,
He
all
don't.
right.
So what is she supposed to do? Especially if she waited all this time and he made this promise. What is she supposed to do? Just live her life miserable? If she feels miserable, not having them there full time, what is she supposed to do? That's like
It's
a
the same.
man.
It's the
Like,
same thing with
like we
people.
gave the
It's the same thing
example.
with people in the
Like we
military.
gave the example when we was talking earlier about, okay, if your girl take a job where she working all day long, you never see her, and you like, yo, I want you to cut back on that time so we can have time together. But she like, nah, I want to work all day every day. And you getting fed up with that. What is you to do? Stay
Yeah,
there all
what
that
you gonna
time while she just keep working and just say, oh, you know what? I'm a sacrifice.
Mhm.
Come
Well,
on, bro.
No.
I'm about to let our sister Iris in.
Give me 1 sec. Give me 1 sec.
Okay. So
Let my
You get
my
what
go
I'm
ahead, Vern.
sister's
saying,
leaving. I'm
Kyle?
giving
You
her
get
a
what I'm
kiss.
saying, though?
I understand. I'm not standing around anybody that I don't want to be around if they not doing what I need them to be doing.
If y'all want to
hold
chime
on.
in, everybody on
Let me-
TikTok, if you want to chime
let
in
me-
on our conversation, click the link in my bio and go to my YouTube page, Facebook page, or Instagram page. We are live right now. We talking about divorce and is being unhappy a reason to be divorced. So if you want to chime in on the conversation, man, just come on over to YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram. That's in the link in my bio. It's in the link in my bio.
And let me address something you saying, Tyree, right? You saying about happiness.
Mhm.
When you marry somebody, you marrying that person because that person makes you happy. Now you're not going to be happy every day, and you do got to be happy within yourself. But you marrying that person also because that person makes you happy.
Yeah, but
it ain't just because of duty and she cleans and she cooks. I can get a maid to do that. If this woman not making me happy and I'm miserable all day, this the woman I'm supposed to be with, the woman I'm supposed to stay faithful to. But I'm communicating to her every day that I'm miserable and the reasons I'm miserable and nothing's changing. So I'm supposed to sit there the rest of my life in that state.
No,
that
absolutely
makes no sense, man.
Absolutely, Sister Iris, what you had to say?
That's what you.
Well, the thing is, relationships come together and fall apart through 10 stages. And so one of the things I teach my students when I'm teaching them is that most people cannot last through what we call the differentiation stage, when the relationship starts having conflicts. Right there, once you start realizing how you and your partner handle disagreements, how you handle when you're not getting along, is going to tell you the ability of that relationship to be able to stay together or if it's going to fall apart.
Conflict
Often
resolution.
often because every relationship's going to reach that stage.
Yes.
Also, you have to realize when you're getting in a relationship, why are we here and what needs am I getting fulfilled? So for all people, we come into our relationships to see connection with someone else. And so when we say that you can't leave because you're not happy, it is really a wrong message.
Yes.
And it is the reason why we're having a brokenness that is happening in marriages and relationships, because people really feel like you're going into some kind of fairy tale situation without realizing the monotony, the difficulty, and the stressors that come along, not with marriage, but with being an adult.
Yeah, with
And now I
everyday
got to deal with
life.
my stuff alongside your stuff, and it can be challenging.
It takes work to build a marriage. It takes work to take care of kids. It takes work to run a household. It's going to be stressful. It's going to be times you're just not going to be happy.
Bro, But bruh,
That's just the way it is.
I feel like you're missing the point. Nobody said these things is not going to happen. But if okay, if you're not happy, your wife not going to be happy, your kids not going to be happy, your household not going to run right. Nobody said you're not going to have struggles and trials and tribulations. Obviously, you're going to have that. That just come with life. But if you with this person and you constantly in a miserable situation and you've communicated, you did therapy, you did all of these things, staying there, people miserable. I don't see the point in that.
But
30
just
years,
because somebody say they not
for 30
happy,
years miserable, 30 years miserable, you just stay in there.
but just because somebody say they not
wasting your life away.
But happiness doesn't mean that you're miserable. That's the thing.
What?
Happy. If you're not happy, it doesn't mean you're miserable. And because that's what y'all think. Y'all think just because somebody say they not happy, it doesn't mean that they are miserable.
But you want to achieve.
Either you're fine or you're not.
What you
It ain't
mean?
got nothing to do with.
But that don't mean you're miserable.
Right?
A level. It doesn't.
No, but
if you're not happy, if you're not one, you're the other. There's not no in between, Tyrese. Either you like it or you don't.
So show me one person. I've been asking this question. Show me. Let me talk, man. Go ahead.
You're trying to take it to like a level where like you have to be totally mad. No, you could just be upset. Like, dog, this is not what I signed up for.
But you're talking about mad. We're talking about. He said miserable. You said miserable. We're not talking about mad. You can be mad. You can be mad. You can be angry all you want. We're talking about miserable. Right? That's a whole nother
meaning.
So
all right, I'm gonna give you an example. Right, I'm gonna give you an example. Me and my wife. Every single day is not roses and butterflies every day, but overall, I'm happy with her overall. If I was not happy with her overall, and we going through years and years of this on end, and there's no resolution, there's no improvement on it.
Mm-hmm.
So you mean I should just keep going through keep going through that?
Me personally, I have joy. I have joy with my wife. I have peace with my wife. I have love with my wife. Yeah, I mean.
So what if you're not getting that joy and peace in what you're talking about?
That joy can't be interrupted when you have joy within yourself.
Time's up. Let me
joy can't be interrupted. Love can't be interrupted, and your peace can't be interrupted when you first at love with yourself, when you joyful with yourself, and you at peace with yourself.
I don't think you can say that, Tyrese, because you haven't had a lot of growth. Like you haven't dealt with a whole lot of girls in your life. So you might be looking at it like, because if I look at it, all the girls in my life, I'll be like, well, they weren't good enough. So that magnifies her even more.
Mm-hmm.
If you understand what I'm saying. But when if you know something is outside the door, you feel it's better.
We're talking marriage. We're talking marriage.
But that can change your decisions.
Yes.
If you know.
Yo, listen. Go ahead, Kyle, my bad.
I'm trying to. You go ahead, because I'm trying to get my thoughts together.
What I'm saying is, hold on. You trying to say I can be happy within myself. If I'm happy within myself, I got joy and peace within myself. But this woman not bringing me that. What's the point of me being with her? It's no point for me to be with her.
Because now here's the thing.
Hold on. Let me finish. I'm gonna let you go. I might as well just be happy with myself and just date women and be happy. If I'm already happy with myself,
but
why am I with a woman that's not making me happy?
About. Yeah, if you're not happy with a woman, because you're not happy with your spouse, and you know you've been out there in the world getting girls, you can easily go back to that.
Yeah, so
let's just Iris. She had to say something.
So my question to you is, what is the point of the marriage? Okay, say you happy with yourself, you won with yourself, you all good, but it's not happening with your spouse. Then what's the point of being with her?
Mm-hmm. All right, let's just
the thing that we talk about being happy within ourselves, and we hear a lot of women right now in the manosphere getting dragged for wanting to end relationships due to being unhappy. However, as we have these conversations and move on to people's mental health and the state of being and what happens, happiness is at the root of everything. Because if we're not happy, we cannot be good partners. We cannot be good to anyone. We can't be good to ourselves. At the end of the day, yes, I can have all the joy in my heart and I can have all the things in me to love you. But if loving you is hurting me, I cannot continue because there's a part of us that gets
Boom.
drained by our partner. So that's the reason
Yeah.
why I can go in the world and any one of y'all on this panel could say something disgusting about me and I really wouldn't care because I have no connection to. But when the person you're connected to is not in alignment with you, when they are becoming the thing that is adversarial in your life, eventually you
Boom.
cannot keep, it's dragging you down because this thing
You
I'm
only got
tethered
one
to
life
it.
to live.
I'm tethered to it. So now if I'm tethered to you and you can't make me happy, you can't bring me joy, you don't care. Because typically in a relationship, usually you've had enough times to fix something. People will tell you what's wrong. Now, as a woman, if I'm your woman and you my man, I gotta prioritize the thing you told me. If it's baby, you not putting on makeup and looking the way you do. If you my man and I want you to be happy, I'm going to prioritize that. But right now we're in a society where I'm not going to prioritize my man. I don't care because as a woman, I feel blah, blah, blah. Now I'm going to disregard that need. That grows and grows and grows and moves into other parts of the relationship. And now we're not meeting each other at the core thing, which is happiness. That's the basic thing. Happy is the basic thing. But now I feel neglected. I feel disrespected. I feel like you don't want to be what I need you to be because at the end of the day, it's like women who say they don't want to have sex with their man. How can I not be intimate with you
That's
if your
crazy.
responsibility is that you're going to be only with me? And the agreement is that I'm supposed to be the only person that's going to give you that thing. How dare I deny you that thing?
Yeah, but that's
How dare
different.
because I don't want you
That's
to
no
deny it from
different,
me.
Tyrese.
You're my
It's
person.
not.
Who else
No
am I
matter
going to get?
what
I
it
can
is.
talk to other people, but who else am I going to get intimacy from?
But that's different now
That's-
because
no, it's
because
not.
hold
No,
on.
it's
Let me lay it down real quick. The reason why I say that's
Go
different
ahead, lay it down.
because happiness and intimacy is different. It's different.
No, it's not.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Huh?
Happiness
No,
and
absolutely
intimacy
not.
is
Hey,
different.
Brian, keep
connection-
trolling again.
The connection to
I'm not
the
trolling.
relationship is
Yeah, what you
the
talking
connection
about?
to the
He can't believe
relationship
that.
is intimate. And if you take it out, somebody ain't happy.
Well, of course.
Yeah,
of
exactly. So
Of
So
course, a
she-
man
what
going to
she
be
basically
unhappy
saying-
if he not getting no yams from his wife. Of course,
A woman gonna be
All right,
unhappy
so if-
too. We don't talk about
I'm happy
that.
to. Hey, can I say something? That's why
What?
I gotta leave in a couple minutes because I promised today. And in order to keep her happy,
your duty.
I gotta leave it.
Yeah. Look, oh, Jeff said, "Is this a real conversation?" Yeah, this is a real conversation. We talking about
Bruh,
this.
this is what I've been telling them, right? So if this woman, and she just said it, this woman wants me to be faithful to her, only to her, don't look at no other woman, but she not making me happy.
Yeah.
And I done spent years trying to rectify the situation, communicating, doing all these things, but she ain't making me happy, but she only want me to stay here with her.
Yeah.
What sense do that
No.
make?
Now,
That makes
of course,
no sense.
That's just like you going out every night and you just going outside. You ain't doing nothing, but you going outside, coming in 2:00 in the morning. Who's gonna stay with that?
hold on real
woman's
quick.
gonna stay with
Let me. Hey, everybody in TikTok, if you want to chime in on this conversation about whether being divorced, whether being happy leads to divorce or not, click the link in the bio and come and join the conversation on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram right now. You can go click the link in the bio right now and come and join the conversation and go click the link in the bio. Yeah, click the link in the bio. What's up, bro? Click the link in the bio. Come and join the conversation on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. If you want to chime in and get and check out everybody that's on the panel, we having a discussion on marriage and whether being happy in your marriage is sustainable or not. Can it sustain you? Now can I have the floor for just a second, real quick? Can I just have the floor for just a second? Just, let your boy let it out real quick. All right. So,
go to
everybody
YouTube.
know I'm a believer in Christ. I live by the fruits of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness. That's something that I drill in my wife. I let my wife know that I love her and I show affection to her, I'm faithful to her and all that stuff. And that's the only thing that I require her to show back to me. And
You gotta go to
most
the
men
YouTube.
really requires respect from their wife. And that's the only thing I really require. Now, it should be in her, to want to see me pleased. And just like me, it should be in me to want to see her pleased. So if I'm focused on pleasing her because of the fruits of the Spirit that's in me, and she's focused on pleasing me because
Hey,
of the
Tyree,
fruits
hold
of the
on.
Spirit.
Repeat that last part again. I'm at. Hold on,
let me ask
bro.
you this
I'm
one
not
more
on you.
question,
I said, hold on, Tyree. I was asking you to repeat that last part. I didn't understand what you said in the last part. You were saying something. Repeat that last little part again.
Oh, okay. So if my wife focus on pleasing me and living out the fruit of the Spirit, and I focus on pleasing her and living out the fruit of the Spirit, there's not going to be no room for any error. Yes, we're going to have issues. Yes, we're going to have disagreements. Yes, I'm not going to be happy with her at times. Yes, she's going to be unhappy with me at some times. But what's going to keep us is the Spirit that dwells in us. So I'm coming from that point of view. I'm not coming from the point of view of I'm not going to try to look to her to try to make me happy all the time. Now, y'all know me. I am very vocal about, my needs. I tell you what I want and how I want it. Now it's up to you whether you're going to give it to me or not. And my wife is the same way. I know my wife. She'll tell me what she wants.
I know both of y'all.
That's what I'm saying. Well, both of y'all know.
I've seen her in my eyes do some stuff to you.
Yeah.
But what I ask you is, so if she continually disrespected you for the next 30 years, you would stay with her?
No.
Okay then.
No.
All the stuff you're talking about is null and void.
But this is the thing though.
That's
we also we also went through counseling, and we also
what did I just say? See, you're not listening. If she kept disrespecting you after you told her to stop disrespecting you, you said you wouldn't stay. So what you're talking about is null and void. Everything you're talking about is null and void because you said you would leave her for that. So that is your thing that you'll leave her for. Certain people have a certain thing. If my woman stays out all night long, I'm leaving. That's my thing. And OG, 2:00 in the morning, ain't nothing good going on. Yeah. If you married, you shouldn't be outside. Period.
Hold on. TikTok. Y'all click the link in the bio. And
there's no
come time in on the conversation on YouTube and Facebook.
What do you mean no intelligence?
Jeff said, I usually like your content. Your cast is coming up short tonight. There's no intelligence.
That's your opinion, right?
I mean, what you want us? I mean, because
what do you mean by that?
Everybody, I'm gonna say this. Everybody have their own perspective. Everybody have their own way of trying to learn how to be loved and appreciated in their relationship. Everybody, that's why I say, what is happiness? Nobody can come up with a concrete definition, or I ain't gonna say a concrete definition. Nobody can come up with a universal definition that works for everybody when it comes to happiness.
But it's never typically work for everybody.
You said what?
It should never work for everybody.
Now, Tyree, I want to ask you.
Hold up, you ain't got to log off, bro. You ain't got to log off, man. No, because this conversation has to be had. Now,
why are you upset by the conversation? I don't get that. But anyway, let me ask you a question, right? So you were saying you live by the fruit of the Spirit, and your wife, you focus on pleasing your wife. Your wife is supposed to focus on pleasing you. What if she not pleasing you, and now she don't got no interest in pleasing you? And now her whole mental interest has changed.
Hey, Vern, send your wife won't come in, Vern. Send her the link from your email.
Send her the link from my email.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just forward it to her. Vern wife won't join. We might as well get all our wives in there. we got.
I'm just saying, like, if she not focused on pleasing you.
Oh yeah, Kyle ain't married. But we got. But Sister Iris aren't you a therapist?
I'm a communication specialist. I help couples deal with communication breakdowns in their relationships.
Now, let me
So
tell you
it's
one
a
thing.
very specific thing I deal with, and I deal with the mess when people are unhappy.
Yeah.
And typically,
I'm
with,
gonna.
with unhappiness in relationships, it is not the way we think of it. It's normally not one sudden thing. It typically is something that has built and built and built, and we ignore it. So, for
Mm-hmm.
instance, it could be as simple as a wife who is upset because her husband throws dishes in the sink after she's washed it.
Mm-hmm.
And so you might ignore that behavior. And then by the time you have the conversation, it has nothing to do with that. He might have um, just tripped over the laundry basket. And now you're bugging out and going crazy about a whole slew of things because we don't tend to really communicate effectively within our relationship, especially about the things that bother us.
Joy.
Because either we're over communicating it or under communicating. And that's
Mm-hmm.
where the relationships break down.
Can
And
I
Yeah,
a
ask
lot
a
of
and
question on that?
go
What
ahead,
if
Kyle.
everything bothers you? Right. Well, what if
oh,
you're
what you
just a
say, Kyle?
bothered person? I said, what if you're just
What
a
you,
bothered person? Like everything bothers you, like, but you do love her.
There are people
Oh, I gotta be quiet.
who don't know how to get along with anybody, but that's more of a personality trait. That's not a communication issue.
Mm-hmm.
People who are
That's
easily
probably
disgruntled make very difficult partners because they will always find a flaw in something. To be
Mm-hmm.
in a relationship and to be healthy, you have to be solution minded and you have to be partner minded. Because the easiest way I tell people is, if I'm in a relationship and in my marriage, my goal is to think about him all the time. So if I'm picking up something from the store, I'm considering him and everybody else in the house and how it impacts all of us. When you approach your relationship from that mindset, then you'll always be at least considering the other person. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of times people move like they're still single and they don't think about the unit or how my behavior impacts the other person.
Mm-hmm.
And we have breakdowns because if I know, for instance, that my man, I went on a vacation recently and I posted a picture and he didn't like it. So I'm gonna take it. That's not an argument. I didn't think anything of it. It wasn't a malicious intent. I was
Mm-hmm.
out on vacation, right? So some people, that becomes an argument rather than wanting to just withstand the wishes of their partner. A lot of things become adversarial. So if you're with a person who just is disagreeable, the relationship will have a very hard time standing, even if they love you, because love ain't enough. Love. People talk about love, but love is a baseline emotion.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can
Love is
love
the
you
foundation,
and
but it's
never
not
fool.
the
I can
structure.
never fool with you again, but I can love you. I got all love in my heart for you, but I'm not gonna be with you. Love is something that we give to a lot of people, and with our person, that's a different kind of love. But at the end of the day, friendship, the ability to communicate effectively, the ability to be with someone who's going to consider you at all times and respect you in your face and out of your face. Those are the things that relationships stand on. And we're in a generation with these cell phones and things like that allow us to be dual personalities and over here and over there. And it causes a lot of problems.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
so Tyree, tell what you were saying about doing a man out happy doing the duties and that all what you were saying.
Okay. What's the vows of marriage? If I can't fulfill that, then why marry? That's a good question. Um, that's why vows. That's why you have to write your own vows, or the preacher might say, for better or for worse, sickness through health, rich or poor, to death do his part. But that's why you write your vows, and your vows is that when you commit towards God when you're in front of the preacher. So that's whatever vows you commit to your wife at that time of y'all being being wed. Now, what you were saying, Vern? What you said, Vern?
No, what was you saying earlier about you saying men are not happy doing the duties that they do or something
All
you were
right, so
saying?
I'm gonna play. Well, I'm sure you saw my video on TikTok. My video went viral. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it real quick. I'm gonna show you what Vern talking about, and I'm just gonna break it down. I'm gonna break it down in the layers. So we're gonna play the video real quick. Hold on. I don't care what nobody say. Tia Murray is bugging. She had this to say about her marriage.
I look at it as like a curriculum. And at the end of that curriculum, and at the end, there's a graduation.
Then she had this to say.
My marriage was a success.
Yeah.
So by Tia's own admission, y'all couldn't hear it?
It's very low.
Oh, it's very low. Well, you might have to turn up your earphones. But all right, so you might be talking about the other video when I said when I was saying that
You said men
how
not
men
happy doing the stuff that they
like
doing.
now this is what I meant by saying men ain't always happy, because this coming off the heels of she's saying that she left her marriage because she wasn't happy and she's seeking self-love. Now, what I mean when I said that men ain't always happy is,
Alexa,
here's the thing.
stop.
We go to work. Now I'm talking about men who's in that take care of their family. I'm not talking about no Pookies and no Ray Rays, and I'm not talking about any other men. I'm talking about men that's active in the in the
Why should
household.
that be a disclaimer? If you're married, it should be the same.
Yeah. So, but because some women to get in here and say, well, some men just don't do anything. I'm talking about active men, like, you know what I mean, that's all around the place, like us. Like I know y'all personally. We all know each other personally. We know how active we all are. Like
All right,
once
so go
upon a
ahead. What
time
you saying
ago,
about it?
like case in point, once upon a time ago, I was working 12, 13, 14, 15 hours. It's only 24 hours in a day. Now you must be smack dab out of your mind. You think I'm coming home from going to work at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning and getting off to 8 o'clock at night, and then gotta, you know what I mean, my wife needs stuff, my son's in sports, and you must be out of your mind to think I'm happy. Now, here's the thing. I'm obligated as a man. My wife and my kids never see me pouting. Oh, I gotta do. No, I get to grinding. It's not about my happiness. This is my obligation. This is what I committed to as a married man.
But
I'm not
that has
complaining.
nothing
You
to
never
do
see
with
me complain about it.
that has nothing to do with the relationship though.
But we talk. But this is one of the
I thought we
conversations
was
that
talking
come
about
up.
stuff that the other person do
But that's
to
one of the
make you
conversations
unhappy.
that come up about happiness. Now, some women might say, "Well,
I know.
I do this, that, and the
So
third
let
in the
me ask you a
house."
question off of that. So a lot of times men do that, right? And they be suppressing their emotions, and they really unhappy. How long do you go on with that before you try to fix it or change it?
Well, but what could you do if you working and you got to provide for your family? You the sole provider. What can you do?
I'm
But that's
I
confused.
know,
part of your job.
I'm confused.
but you feel like you doing all of these things,
No, I
but
don't.
yet you personally you not happy.
But just because I'm not happy, it doesn't mean I'm miserable or I'm angry. I'm just not happy doing it.
You're not happy with yourself
But the
But
thing is,
when
I
what you're
when
think
you
you're
doing.
mixing
say
up
That has
two
when
nothing to
you
do
say
with
you're
a
not
concepts and trying to make
relationship.
happy,
them the same.
Say that again.
yeah,
There's a need, you're mixing up two concepts and trying to make them the
Yeah,
same. So as a parent,
yeah.
I have obligations to my children and my family.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes those things don't bring me happiness or joy. I do them out of duty, even though I don't care how tired I am. I do love to watch my son kick
Yeah,
karate class. It's just one
Yeah.
of those things
yeah,
that bring me joy
exactly.
as a parent.
And that
Yes.
has
However,
nothing to
that
do
is
with him.
completely different than being unhappy in your marriage or in your relationship. That is coming
Yes.
from a different place. That's their duties and adulting, like I said, that a lot of people don't like. A lot of people have an issue with being a damn adult.
Yes.
However, at the end of the day, as a partner, my job and my responsibility as your spouse is to make your day better, is
Yes.
to think about those things that I can do every day and for you to be my person. So if I'm upset, I should be able to come to you and let it off. You should be able to tell me anything going off you. I should be a safe space. I should be a haven. I should
Mm-hmm.
be the place you want to come to. And if
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, and if you're not that for me, I'm going to become unhappy because things are out of order in our
Mm-hmm.
relationship.
Now,
If I am not happiness and peace for you and you are not that for me, we are going to, now we are in a part in our
We have a
relationship
problem.
where we start circumscribing, avoiding each other. We don't want to be with each other.
mm-hmm.
That's what's happened. And that has nothing to do with the adulting duty. Nobody likes to pay a light bill. Nobody
Mm-hmm.
wants to pay car note. Nobody wants to deal with each other when they're sick or when women have cycles. All of those things can be negative moments in a relationship. But at the end of the day, I've committed to you. So those things are minute. But at the
Mm-hmm.
end of the
Yeah,
day, if
yeah.
you don't meet me at my baseline needs that I signed up for you as my spouse to be my protector, to be my provider, to be my heart, and I'm gonna stand here and give you me, and I'm gonna show up for you. If you show up for me like I'm showing up for you, then happiness is easy. Because I know at the very least I'm getting support, love, and care. Those things are not there, and I am unhappy. That's where depression comes in. That's where
Mm-hmm.
misery comes in. That's where divorce comes in.
And to add on
So
what
you
you
made
said, because
so my point's been
So,
made. So my points have been made.
Exactly.
Sorry, remember that. So my points been made.
I hear echo.
I agree. Can I say something? I want to say something.
Go ahead.
I agree with most of the points she was saying. But one thing I kind of I'm conflicted about a little bit is that we depend on other people to bring us happiness. And happiness doesn't come from outside, it comes from internal.
That's
So
my
I
point.
believe that when you are fixated on somebody else to bring you happiness, then you're never going to be, it's like having false expectations, because the person's always going to fall short. Some way or somehow, they're never going to always fully be able to bring you full happiness, because happiness comes within. Now they're supposed to be, let's say, like, what's the word? I believe a person's supposed to come and be a part of your happiness, but not the cause of your happiness.
Yeah, but that's what she said. She said that
That's what
earlier.
I said. They're there to.
Yeah,
They're
she
supposed
wasn't
to be
here.
there
I
to
don't think she
support
was
you,
here.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so
when
that's
Okay.
what
when
I'm.
something
So
is
that's what I'm
broken,
saying.
I
So
need
gotta
you
come
to
in.
go to
if this
you.
person is not being, I'm sorry, if this person is
It's
not
bringing
being a
you
part of
down
your
from your
happiness,
happiness. Yeah,
if she not being a part of your happiness, you got to go.
Yeah.
and
But
even
Because
it could be
at that
80%.
point,
like, let me say this. After my of course, my video went viral. My wife came to me and said, "I don't make you happy," and I explained it to her. This is the thing. I say, we're doing life together as one. I need you to focus on your happiness, because if you're not focused on your happiness and you don't know how to make yourself happy, how can you expect me to make you happy? Because that's the problem with a lot of people. A lot of people don't know what happiness is, and they try to. It's like this like blind thing. You want me to do something that you don't even know what you want. So I'm always chasing at the waterfalls, and
Okay,
that's
so now
and that's the problem. So if you're focused on making yourself happy, right, and you know what makes you happy, what makes you happy is what's going to make me happy, and I'm going to be more eager to make you happy.
okay, now the first part you said of that is right,
Because,
but the second
like, case
part,
in point,
this person still has to make you happy though.
yes, but she has
They
to
have to
all.
complement. They have to be a complement, like a complement
No,
to your
and
happiness. But you
Yes,
ultimately
and the
have to have
reality,
your own happiness, or not. No
yeah,
matter how much they try to make you happy, if you're not internally happy, everything they
yeah,
do is just
it
going
ain't
to be
anything.
gonna be, yeah.
I know, but
momentarily.
what I'm
My
It's
saying
going to
is,
bring
exactly.
momentarily.
what I'm saying is, of course, you got to have your own happiness, but you married to this person for this person to make you. If this person is not satisfying you and making you happy, what's the point of being with her? There's no point. Or being with him.
But
There's
like I
no
said, it
point.
goes
Well,
back.
sometimes, well, you don't always marry somebody to be happy. You marry people for different things.
Yes.
Everybody have their own marital agenda, right? Some people do it for financial
What
gain.
up, bro?
Some people do it for security. Some people do it for love. So you're not necessarily marrying people for love, for happiness, because
So
marriage is a contract.
if you marry somebody for love and happiness, then what?
If you're marrying somebody for happiness, then you are doing it for the then you're fooling yourself, because no one can make you
Why are you
happy if you're
fooling
not
yourself?
happy.
I'm not.
Because
We're not
you're
saying.
What
But
she
hold
said,
on.
what she said
I
is,
think you misconstruing it though. I'm not saying if I'm not saying that the one that's not happy. What if you are fully happy within yourself, but this person is not making you happy?
Okay. Now
like I
okay. If
like I
you're
spoke
fully
about before,
happy,
the thing that's different, quick thing. The thing that's different in romantic relationships is that when you are with someone, even people who get in relationships for financial security, even people who come in for whatever, this is why people will cheat or go outside to find a connected partner. Um, Solitary confinement is punishment for a reason. We are not to be alone. We must be partnered. And when we don't have partnership or another person who we are dealing with, it is a huge problem for us humans. Therefore, you must understand that no, another person cannot be your happiness, but that person who you are connected to will drain you more than anyone else if they are not in
Yeah,
alignment with you. If their energy is, or
that's
when you
Yeah.
come home and you're like, hello, and you're dealing with someone who is grunting
yeah.
and who's negative
What's up,
and
G?
whatever, that
What's going on
will
with you?
impact you and it will harm you. That's
I
why a
can't
Go-
lot
hear.
of
I
say
can't hear
that
you,
happiness
other
doesn't matter.
people,
It
but
is,
Hold on, real
it
quick.
is
Can
extremely
you
important.
hear us?
I can hear you. But I can hear the
Can I
people.
hear
But
you?
it's like Reese. I'm gonna say this to you. How you conduct your show? I'm gonna follow your orders, sir. You a
Come
boss.
over, come over to YouTube. Come over to YouTube and join the conversation because it's kind of hard for everybody
Now,
to
hold
get
on.
in on
Somebody made
TikTok.
a
Easy
comment. I
day.
think it
Yes,
was
sir. Yes, sir, big bro. Yes,
All
sir,
right,
big
man.
bro.
I think now.
All right.
So let me answer this because I think it was Jeff made a comment saying, "Why would you give so much before you get married? If you don't give enough before you get married, why am I marrying you?
Reese.
Why am I marrying you?
Reese.
Why am
Yeah.
I marrying you? You're saying why give so much
Uh,
before you marry?
what
What
do I
you
actually
you
type in
you
the
you
YouTube
gotta
so I can
give.
actually go to your channel? You're live right now.
Yeah. Go to YouTube. Go to
You
YouTube.
gotta give before
All
you
right.
get
I'm
married.
like, if I click your icon, can I touch that and find the link that
Yeah.
actually take me to that?
Yeah. You can go click on.
I agree.
Yeah. Click on. Go to my Go to my bio. Hold on, y'all. Go to my bio and click in the my YouTube page. Click on my YouTube page, and
Reese.
you'll be able to time on there. I used to I don't have my phone hooked up right now, so you could probably
It's all good. It's all good, Reese.
all right, man.
All right. It's Gutter and Saint.
Cause
Yep, Gutter and Saint.
Easy day.
All right, man.
All right, love.
All right.
I think it's
because
balance when you're um I think you're supposed to give some of yourself before you're married, but it depends on the individual you're with. Because some people will get
Mhm.
comfortable, and if you're expecting marriage out the deal, uh, is that communication is so important. When you're dealing with somebody, are you both on the same page when it comes to marriage,
Mm-hmm.
right? And if you both are, then the other individual will know that that's where you're aiming for, and they will take, because you both have to put your cards out so you can know whether this person is the person you want to spend the rest of your life with, because that's what marriage is about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Picking someone you want to spend the rest of your life with. That's the idea,
Mm-hmm.
right? You don't get married thinking about, if this don't work out, I'm going to get divorced,
Go.
right? People
Yeah.
say this is my life partner. So the point is, you do have to give a lot of yourself, because you're both, it's like a dating. You're in that situation where it's like, who is this person, and who am I dealing with, and do they have all the qualities I want in a wife or in a husband?
Mm-hmm.
And
And
that's your
that's
time to
that.
prove it. If you want to move forward, if you want that wedding, if you want the marriage, because it's not the wedding, it's the marriage. The wedding
Now
is one day, you know.
and I posted all right, I got you. I said something I posted it on Facebook, right? And this sister said that it's not about happy matrimony, it's about holy matrimony. So this all comes on the heels of Tia Mary saying she's divorcing her husband because she just simply not happy and she just finding self-love. And what my thing is, what is happiness and what is self-love? Because if she said that her marriage was a success, she said this out of her own mouth, that her marriage was a success. So that means she admittedly said that, her marriage was good. So
Right.
what
But what I say to that is, you can't just take one thing. Maybe she said it wrong. Maybe the way she said it, she didn't probably mean it that way, and she ain't got 20 hours to explain exactly
Britt, put
what
your
she
email
meant
in
by
there.
that. So
Go ahead, go keep going.
people will just take what she says on a short little clip and turn it into what they think it
No,
is.
that's what she
And
said
a lot
because
of
she went
times
on the
that's
whole
what
but
campaign,
that
no, but
Kyle.
a lot of
but Kyle,
times
that's why
a
I
lot
was
of
saying,
times
like,
people take what she said. It could be a success, and one day they wake up and say, you know what? Let's not do this no more. And they both say it at the same time. Nobody's at fault for that.
No, he got on the internet and said he don't want to be divorced.
Society.
He said that. So this is a decision that she made.
I just feel like see, like Kyle was saying, people take sound bites. That's what I was saying. She shouldn't even have came on TV with it.
And hold on, privately. You said came on TV with it. She's doing multiple interviews saying the same thing. So it wasn't a hiccup or oops that she said that. She said it, and she meant it.
She should be handling that in private.
I agree.
Let me tell you something, Tyree. One thing me in my personal self-love journey, I see how important it is to find who you are. And when you're very young and you in society standards, they tell you you're supposed to have kids, you're supposed to get married, you're supposed to have all these things, right? As a being, right? You start going by society standards and you lose who you are, who you want to be, and everything. God put us all here with our own personal purpose, and it's not to just be a wife and to be a mother. You know what I'm saying? Those are parts of it, right? If that's part of your journey or destination, but that's not all. And we are our own personal being, right? And there's things that fulfills us. So at the end of the day, sometimes we make decisions very young and very naive and just based out of love, right? But then when we come to a place in our life when love is not enough and the partner we're with is not enough, right? And then there's something yearning. There's something deeper that's calling you, that's a greater purpose than what your circumstances are, then you have to question everything. And, me coming from that space and understanding what that is, right? When God confronts you with things and it's like you have a calling and then your circumstances are not in alignment with that calling, you have to make a decision. And is whether you're going to find your personal fulfillment or you're going to just sacrifice everything and just stay in your situation. So that's a hard decision to make, you understand? Or find a way to do it all under the same, try to figure it all out. And you do need a partner who is able to see you, support you in your process. Because what I wanted at 20 is so completely different than what I want at 25 and 30 and 35 and so on, right? So in the beginning, it's like, they sell, especially women, these fairy tale about love and romance and all these things. And this is what you're supposed to look forward to as a woman, right? But then when you start becoming more learned, read more and you start seeing the world differently and you expand your mind, right? You realize that, wait a minute, there's more to life than just being a mom, just being a wife, just playing these roles. There's more to life than these things.
And that's
then
why
you have
I told
to deal
my wife,
with that.
And real quick, let me say this real quick. And you got the floor, Iris. That's why I told my wife when she said, "I don't make you happy." I said, and I'm always telling her, I'm your biggest fan, right? I am your biggest fan. But one thing that comes with being your biggest fan, I'm going to be your hardest critic. Now think about this. When you look at somebody who's a Michael Jordan or LeBron James fan, they always cheering him on until he have that bad night. And then that person who's his biggest fan get on there and say, man, he should have did this right, he should have did this right. But he never stopped being his biggest fan. I tell my wife, focus on your game. Focus, because I'm focusing on my game to make sure that I am there for you in every which way. Now I just need you to focus on your game. But you know what,
Tyree?
Yeah,
she doesn't want you to be her biggest critic.
No, because
she wants you to be her biggest supporter
because you want
and have empathy. Because
hold on.
We are our biggest critic.
Hold on. Everybody need a critic close to them. I don't want no yes man around me. I don't want no yes man around me.
No, you know that yourself, you're your biggest critic. When you look at yourself in the mirror, you know that you're failing.
But hold on.
You want your partner to be your support and to have empathy for what you're going through.
You don't need support
and not
for
necessarily
everything.
telling you how you're failing.
Because sometimes the things you want is not the things that you should get right now. Period.
No,
that's just the way it goes. That's because this is the thing. We live in a time where everybody is just going off feelings and they just feel like everybody should support everything that they do. I don't support everything, every choice, everything everybody do. I don't want nobody to support everything I do.
You don't have to support, but you don't have to say
I don't ask for your support. I don't even ask for my wife's support.
But you don't have to say anything. When my girl do something wrong that I don't appreciate, I just don't say anything.
She'll tell you though.
Well, I don't care.
No. So if accountability is going to be demonstrated towards you, accountability goes both ways.
It's not about that.
If you
It's not
if you
about
tell
it.
me
I don't do
you
accountability.
ain't take out the trash. If you keep telling me
don't
that
care
I ain't
about
take
that.
out the trash
I'm
for
not
the last
I don't
week,
care.
but she's holding you
Just
accountable.
pointing out. No. What I'm trying to say is like
No, but
if you're saying
that's
something.
simple stuff, Tyree. That's like house
Yeah, that's
stuff.
something really
Yeah,
We're talking
simple.
about we're talking about
we
internal
talking about
battles. Like
serious
if
shit.
I know I'm
Yeah,
dealing with my weight
yeah.
struggles, I don't need you to tell me how a slob I am. Don't you
No,
think I
no,
know
ain't
that
nobody
in my
talking
when I
about
look in
that.
the mirror?
But
Jennifer, you know
that's a
daggone well
thing
what
though,
man is
Tyree.
going to daggone tell.
But
Ain't
that's a
nobody talk
thing.
about stuff like that.
There's
That's
I ain't
No, but
talking
that's
about stuff like
reality.
that.
No, that's reality.
that's a thing.
Well,
I don't have
yeah,
any
there ain't no
That's
issue.
thing.
reality.
I'm gonna big up
If
my
I'm
girl
dealing with
all
something
day long. If
internal
she do
and you know
something
my
wrong,
weakness and I am telling you I want to work on this and today I fall flat on my face. I don't need you to be like, you see, you fell flat
yeah.
on your face.
See,
Oh,
What you
yeah.
gonna, I need you to
no. See,
help me up.
that's
but
that's
I
not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking
Hold,
about.
let
I
That's
Iris
think
speak. What is she
in a
saying?
relationship,
What is she saying?
I think in a relationship we have to have healthy criticism.
yes.
I don't want you to allow the world to correct me before you do. If you're
That's
my
my point.
man, I need
No,
you to catch it
no,
and
no,
I
no.
need you to make if you're my man and I'm doing something wrong, I need you to be able to have that conversation with me, and I need to be able to be receptive to it without becoming defensive, because I got to know that if you totally protect me and you want what's best for me, that your words are not to harm me, they're to make me better.
Yep.
There's a difference between being nitpicky and critical and being giving constructive criticism. And she's very
I
right
agree.
about the fact that, yeah, in certain places, if I don't feel safe with you and know if I feel completely safe and you're my man and I know that everything we're doing is about the betterment of us, I can absolutely receive those critiques.
Yes.
However, sitting here at the side in the juncture I am, just to go back to the other point that was being made about women and people and our duties to the world, and
Yes.
that need to fulfill ourselves. I think we all get into our 30s and we go through this space of what am I supposed to do? Being on
Mm-hmm.
the other side of that and realizing that I was supposed to do it all. I
Mm-hmm.
pride myself on being one hell of a wife. I pride myself on being one hell of a mother. When I look at my 28-year-old and I walk in his house and see that he has purchased his home and he is preparing for marriage and he's doing those things as a
Mm-hmm.
mother, there's nothing I've done in my career, and my career is great, that supersedes getting that done.
Mm-hmm.
So that part of us that needs to produce those children, that needs to have companionship. But the thing is, we don't think about what we're doing on the other side of that and
Mm-hmm.
make sure that we're complete. And often with women, we resent our partners because they're not in the thick of it. And so therefore they have a certain ability of, and some men get that they do, and some men don't get that they do, because it took my husband a long time to see that everything I was worrying about, he could at times worry about those things.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have, it wasn't his daily job to worry about certain things, and a lot of relationships are breaking up along these lines. So
Yep.
when you get with someone, for instance, I never had a problem or thought about caring about the fact that I work and come home and cook dinner, because I'm going to come home and cook dinner whether it's me, him, everybody. It's
Mm-hmm.
just what I do, right? But I also was the person to run him to karate and do so. I took on so many of the duties. He
Mm-hmm.
didn't ask me to do it. I just overdid it. And
Mm-hmm.
then I had to learn that me not asking him wasn't his fault. Me not using my voice to
Yeah.
articulate my needs
Exactly.
were not his fault.
Mm-hmm.
But I was
Exactly.
blaming him as if I had communicated what I needed. And
Yep.
guess what? When I opened my mouth,
Exactly.
it took us a while to get
And
into the
it's easy
rhythm.
for him to do.
Then
Yeah.
now we can raise these children. Now we can do certain things. Now we can be a couple. When I
Mm-hmm.
say, listen, I understand that you spend time with the guys, but you're not giving that time at home. I need time and I work a lot, and all of those things. People want to talk for relationships in these broad things, not understanding the dynamics of every relationship is so unique, so different,
Mm-hmm.
so what those two people agree upon. But when
Mm-hmm.
we sit here and we talk about trying to throw out the fact that there is a resentment that can come in between a relationship, we are
Yes.
lying to ourselves, because we absolutely will have times where we resent our partners, where we get angry with our partners, and it ain't got anything to do with them. It's about us.
Yep. Yep.
It's
But
our stuff.
what I do
Oh, hold on. So, brother
when I have
Tyree,
a
you was telling me that. So you were saying to me that, like she was saying. So if she communicating with you
Mm-hmm.
and she's saying this what I need from you, but you saying nah, like Tom Brady, I gotta play football. I gotta keep. That's my passion. I can't come home. So
That's different.
you expect? No, it's not different.
That's different.
No, it's not.
You telling your husband to drop his? You telling your husband to stop his career?
Communicated. She
the
has
same career that's providing the lifestyle that we're living.
No, it's not. No. She got her own lifestyle. She not broke.
And one
we can't. We let's talk. Let's come down to our level. Huh?
Yeah,
she's the same level.
So
she got you keep thinking like a person's money is a different level. You're married. You're married. It don't matter who you are.
She want this man home. Now, like Iris was just saying, if she communicated with you, she said, "I want you home more." And he said, "Nah, I gotta keep playing football." So it's football or whatever. So you want her to just keep waiting and being miserable. And just
she's not miserable.
Unhappy.
She is miserable. And she tells the boy to stop doing what he's doing. There's something wrong.
She's not miserable.
All right, we don't know their life. Let's come down to our level. They are millionaires. You know what I mean? Let's come down to our level.
It don't matter, bro. It don't matter that they're millionaires.
Stop doing that, bro.
All right, let me say this. Let me say this. Let me say this.
Yeah, like Kyle said, they human beings, bro. It don't matter.
They human beings, but they can afford 30 nannies. And all that other stuff.
30 nannies
doesn't matter, dude. It don't have nothing to do with the kids.
Listen. It's more to it. It's more to it than.
See, we don't know the circumstances either.
Yeah,
like we're going off of that one basis.
She was on national TV hugging AB.
He
like
promised her at
she was on national TV hugging another man. Like that was like they had something going on. I would divorce my wife. I would divorce my wife for that too. But we're not gonna get off into that. We're not getting off of that. Let's get back on topic. Now that's another topic.
Yeah, we saying that he agreed supposedly because like I said, we don't know everything about the
that's a fact.
What's been reported is that what's being reported it was that he was going to come home at a certain age. He was going to retire. He reneged on that.
We said that.
So he reneged.
Yes.
Yeah, so if she communicated with him like, babe, this, I want you to spend more time at home, and he agreed to stop at this time, but then when this time come, he like, nah,
and
I'm doing this.
Vern, check this out. He extended it because he first said at 35 he would do it. Then he extended it, and she agreed to it.
How y'all know?
But the deadline,
y'all don't know what they actually had that conversation.
It came out of his mouth.
All right,
yeah, this stuff been out there. Hold on. If you and your girl, and like I said, see, I ain't trying to look. If you and your girl agree, like I said, she got this job where she always going, but she said, yo, she 39, and she said, yo, when I turn 41, I'm gonna slow down and I'm coming home. And you like, all right,
and
cool.
You waiting on the 41 to come and come and go. I'm waiting on you. Still doing the same
now,
thing.
41 come. Now 41 come. And she like, nah, I gotta keep working. I ain't, you know what I mean? So you just gonna keep accepting that?
Man, look, if my wife, that's what she want to do, that's
it's a yes or no question.
If that's what she want to do, I'm not stopping my wife from doing what she need to do in her career.
So what are you going to do?
I'm gonna do what I have to do. I'm gonna continue to do what I do. I'm gonna continue whatever it is I'm doing. I'm gonna continue to do what I do.
Man. This is why I don't like talking to him.
I'm keeping it in the bean.
Yeah,
I'm keeping it in the bean.
You're dead wrong, bro.
I'm keeping it in the bean. I'm keeping it all the way above for you. I'm keeping it in the bean. Look.
How you keeping it in the bean?
Because look,
you gonna be there. I'm gonna keep it.
You mean to tell me because I didn't retire? That is grounds for divorce. Like really?
This is a dude that just said if his wife kept disrespecting him, he'll leave.
It's not about, but hold on.
Listen, Vern. Replace the disrespect with quitting football. It's the same thing, bro.
Listen.
He didn't do what she told him to do.
If my wife divorced me because I want to continue to play football,
it's all about compromise. I don't know. We don't know what happened in the relationship. Who knows how other things that happen in a relationship? Marriage is always about compromise.
No, but Jennifer, what I'm saying is it's not about, and Tyree, it's not about if he decided to play football. They made this agreement. He broke that agreement.
Okay, get divorced.
Okay, but I don't know if that's the main cause of the divorce, right?
Just get divorced.
I don't think, I understand they got divorced, but what I'm saying is that we don't know that. So we're like assuming.
Get divorced
on.
then.
We are gonna get divorced if
That's
I've
why a
been
lot of
wanting
people
this
do
for
it.
years. If I've been sacrificing this for years, and I've been wanting you to spend more time for years, and then I come to you and expressed it to you, and then we made an agreement, and then when
More
it's
than
time
once.
for that agreement, and then when it's time for that agreement to come to fruition,
You renege
and
on
you
me?
renege
No.
on it,
Yeah. And this is how I
I'm
think that we was trying to
I'm
do.
good on you. Yeah, I'm
What
I
type
ain't
of
buying
marriage
that,
is
Vern.
that?
Let's drop the Tom Brady talk, because at
What
the end
you
of the
mean?
day, all this stuff
All
is
right,
circumstantial and it's speculation.
Like I said, then let's drop Tom Brady. I gave you the instance. Your girl is working for years and years, all
Okay.
these hours. You not really happy with that, but you sacrifice for the benefit of the family. Now you come to her, express how you feel, and you say, "Hey, listen, I want you to be more at home." And y'all make an agreement that at this certain time or age that she gonna come home and spend more time at home. Now when that time comes, she reneges on it. You just say, "Oh, it's all good." No.
There's a lot of fans of Tyrese on here.
Yeah.
See, but we're talking about we don't know how things transpired, and if that was the case, I think that if a
But babe,
if a person,
I'm not.
Right, if I knew
We
that
don't.
I was gonna keep working, you don't think I would have been telling you that instead of waiting till the time I'm supposed to retire and be like, oh no, wait a minute,
That's
I'm
the
not gonna
problem.
retire. I think
It's
that
not
you
even
will
about the
know that
retirement. It's
before
about you
then.
telling me something that you were going to do. We discussed this for years and years, and I have a problem with you doing this. You done already beat everybody. You're the greatest ever, whatever. And you told me you're going to do this, and now you're going to renege on it. So you don't want
So that's
you're
grounds for
But I
taking
think,
whatever
divorce.
I'm trying to give
That's
you.
but
grounds for
I don't think those
divorce.
are still grounds for divorce.
That's the grounds for divorce, huh?
I don't think
You
so. It's
don't know
like
where
how can you
it could
find
have been
guys
other
come
stuff
to?
going on during that
If
too.
there's love
No,
to
I
me,
said,
if
all right.
there's love, then there's worth fighting for. Now, if
I
there's no
know, but what
love
if this guy?
and it's
But
just then it's different.
this is the thing. We dropping the Tom
No,
Brady
but see,
scenario. We just saying
no,
in general, like I
I
gave the
want
work scenario. You done sacrifice years of this person
listen.
doing this, and then you made an agreement. What is the keep
What I
fighting
want
for when that person done basically disrespected you now? Because
That's
now they
not
saying,
disrespect.
nah, it
But that's not
is.
No. Check
disrespect.
this. Check
It's
this.
not
Ho,
disrespect.
ho, ho. Let me say
You're
this.
taking her career personal. When let's
There's
say
not
if I
disrespect
do a
to
fulfilling
y'all.
career and I think about there's something has to come to a compromise, right? We have to come together to an agreement where I can still do what I love and I can still do, take care of you too. And that's where compromise come. Like if that's what he loves and that's where, fulfills him and you just want me to stop doing what
Yeah,
fulfills you because I want you to spend time with me,
we
that's also
understand all
selfish.
that.
That's
We understand
I
all
said
that.
the same thing, and
But
we also don't
my
know. He might
no,
be trying to. He might be continuing to play football because she's intolerable. She's intolerable. I can't tolerate being around her.
okay, like
You
I
know what I
gave
mean?
the
He
analogy.
might
No,
want.
that's speculate. That's
Hold on.
speculations. Now we're going more into speculation.
Well, hold on. Let me say this real quick.
Distance is
let
hard
Alex
on a
talk.
relationship.
Uh-huh.
As a military wife, distance is hard on a relationship. Distance is hard. So if we have a couple million and we're good, there's not all the football in the world that's going to make me say, I don't need my partner. I've
That's what
done
I'm
it for
talking
20
about.
years.
And I said that. I said that
My
earlier
husband
about the
retired.
military
No,
wives and
you
all that
didn't.
stuff.
No, you didn't.
That's when me and Vern was talking about it.
The man is gone all the time, and I one of the biggest things I enjoyed was my husband's first year of retirement, being that I made so much money where he could just sit the hell down and be with these kids and be with us because
Yeah.
the military took him away. And so
that's
when
what I'm
people
saying.
talk about the Giselle and Tom Brady thing and other relationships like that, people don't understand what it's like to be away from your partner for long periods of time. It is not easy. It is the hardest relationship to be in, and it causes a lot of problems.
But we don't also
And
don't
hold
Yeah,
know.
on,
but the
Tommy,
military is a
before you
little
go,
bit different because
No, it's
because
not. It's the
Giselle, if
same.
she wants to go see her husband, she can take a flight and see her husband, right?
She can go to every
Versus
game.
military, if he's sent
That's not
away,
the same as
right, and
being
But that
he's
home
means you
doing
because
is not
that's
the
just something
same.
she might not want to
that's
do.
not the same as having them home. It's not the
He's
same as
home
having
every
home.
night.
No, I agree with that.
Unless he's traveling.
Let me say this. No,
they play 16 games.
The scenario, but hold on. Let me say this. The scenario is getting off Tom Brady. Let's say I've sacrificed. Let's say me personally. Let's say I've already sacrificed for 15 years of you doing this, working this job where all your hours is taken. I done sacrificed.
Vern, football players are home every night.
I'm not talking about
listen,
football no more.
Tyrese.
No, I'm not talking about football no more. Let's just say, like I said, you've been at home. You sacrificed with your wife. Your wife is working this job. She's at work. She's at work all the time. You've already sacrificed for 15 years of her doing this. Now y'all made an agreement that at this time she gonna slow down and start to be home more. When that time comes, she reneges on it and I gotta keep doing this full time, full stop.
Mm-hmm.
And you supposed to just say, okay, I'm gonna compromise.
That's her career.
That's
when I say compromise, don't mean that you accept it. I'm just saying you both come to an agreement where both sides is happy.
We all got work till we about 65, right?
No, you don't. No, you don't got work till you 65. No, you don't.
That's if you don't have the money.
But I'm saying that's if you choose to be a slave, you can work to
65 with it. Come over to YouTube and join the conversation. Click the link in my bio. Come to the YouTube page and join the conversation. We got a dope panel. We chopping it up. Talk to the folk on YouTube, y'all. On TikTok.
Yeah, if you want to be a slave, you can work to 65.
In everybody's relationship, they have one thing that they be like, no, I don't want to do this. It could be anything that sets you off. Giselle saying,
all right, listen here. Listen here.
Then that means the foundation is not. Then there's no strong foundation because if Iris said she said 20 years, she had to deal with her husband not constantly being there. Her foundation was so strong that when it was time for him to retire, she was able to still stand there and wait for him. So it's not talking about strong foundations. Mm-hmm. If your foundation is not strong, then you're gonna have it's gonna be shaky. You're not gonna. It's not gonna. It's not gonna last.
I'm sure
our relationship was splintered and fractured to hell. Our relationship was splintered and fractured to hell. Mm. I just was committed to my marriage enough. Mm. I was committed to what I stated to. I was staying to what I honored myself and said, this is what I'm going to do. So because I'm on my word, by the time he retired, but our relationship was beat and bruised through that period. It was not easy. I don't know.
But most marriages go through that. And whether it's your circumstances or another, I feel like for perseverance, that's what most parents, if you listen to people who been married 50 years, it wasn't easy. And they persevered through so many different circumstances. And it's like, that's what, you hope to have, that even though things got shaky, you guys still stood firm and still push forward. Sometimes it's just one person doing it at that time, still holding up the faith for both of you. Mm. But that's part of the commitment of marriage. And I feel like if there's love, then it's all worthwhile.
Marriage is a sacrifice.
Now, can I ask Iris a question? So if your husband, right, after 20 years retirement, and you sacrificed all that time, and he comes home and say, man, I seen this job. I want to get this full-time job. And he goes get this full-time job. How would you take that?
Well, actually, he does have a full-time job now. But
like going back to the army.
No.
Going back where he's going and all that.
To when he first retired, and you told me that he was going to take a job traveling or being gone, we would be divorced.
Mm. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. That's all I'm saying.
Why? But why?
What you mean? But why?
Nah. I gotta know why. Why?
But there's a few things. Number one, the distance had our relationship battered, bruised, and broken. And so therefore the relationship where there is, when you talk about somebody coming home, yes, he came home. He came home and he was completely disconnected from everybody. He came home, he was doing his thing. He came home and was living a life, and I was living a life. We want two separate routines. I'm doing one thing, he was doing something completely else, and therefore I was a married single mother. Number one, let's start there. The second issue is, if we have said that this is what we're going to do because our relationship is about to be a priority, because I'm a career woman, I work a lot of hours too, and I realized I was working to avoid the realities of our marriage because it was so damn broken, because we just didn't have a relationship anymore. So I was burying myself in work and he was working. At the end of the day, either we're going to do this and prioritize this, or we're not. See, I come from parents who were married till my dad died. I watched my mother clean my father. I watched her love him till he closed his eyes. And that's what I absolutely want more than anything in the world. But the thing that they did, my father used to tell us when we were little, and we would try, he'd be like, you're not starting no mess between me and my wife. At the end of the day, it's going to be me and her. It's going to be me and it's going to be her. You will go on. You will have a family. You will live your life. That's my baby doll. The way my father carried with my mom and the way she was about her husband was they prioritized their marriage. They didn't prioritize careers. They didn't prioritize children. They didn't prioritize anything but to be together.
Yes.
And even in his death,
Tyrese,
he left her so good she ain't had to work ever.
Exactly.
And so when we talk about marriage, when we talk about how we feel, I'm sure there's times where I don't love my damn husband. I don't like him. I don't even want to see him. But even if we were to divorce, I will always stand up and be loyal to him. I will always be there. He don't have to worry if anything ever happened. He will always be prioritized in my life. But because I come from marriage, he comes from divorce. So the way he sees things and the way I see things, sometimes it don't line up. Because what I saw growing up was people who were committed to that thing at a level that mattered before anything. And what I've learned in life is no matter, like I said, no matter what I've accomplished, it does not compare.
But and that goes back to what we started with, the whole happiness.
No,
it goes back to that,
bro. You told me this.
No, I didn't. That goes back to the whole.
Because she said,
wait, Tyree, you can't say wait. You're wrong with the aspect of happiness. I think, Tyree, when you talk about people can't be happy in your marriage.
But she just said she was.
Doesn't mean that you're always happy, but you can still say I'm happy now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Doesn't mean that you're not happy just because you go. Happiness is a feeling, right?
Happiness comes and goes.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
It can't.
Yes, it is. It's circumstantial.
Happiness can come and go. Yes, because happiness is not a destination, right?
It's not.
People say I want to be happy, right? But happiness is really like it's a choice. You can choose to be happy, right?
Can choose to be happy. No matter.
But what I'm saying is that you're not always going to be in a happy state.
Yeah, you might not be in a happy state, but you can instantly make yourself happy.
Overall, you're not always going to be in a happy state, but overall happiness.
But even
overall,
through the
I love my wife even when I'm not happy with her.
I know, but Tyree, you was wrong because she basically made the point. So if he was to go away again for another full-time job and travel, she says she would have been divorced.
That was the whole
point.
There's certain things that a wife or a husband can do that can make it irreconcilable. It's just up to the individual person.
You both have to be committed. Like it's work. Marriage is not easy.
It could be one thing that, like, say for, I know this is petty as hell.
Marriage is work.
But say for instance,
marriage is work.
All relationships are work.
I plan on marrying my girlfriend very soon. But say she threw away all my video games, I wouldn't be able to take that. I wouldn't be able to stay with it. I said it was gonna be petty. I know it's stupid as hell, but I'd be like, you threw away my phone.
Not the video game.
You don't care about me. Hey, you don't care about me.
Kyle said she threw away all my video game.
Oh my God.
But you know what Kyle do? Kyle got a collection since Atari, bro. He got things
Wow.
back from a ColecoVision.
That's like my
So that means that video games are worth more than her, huh?
But you got to realize,
If
see,
she
Kyle a
didn't know
techie.
enough to, if she didn't understand their value to him,
Yeah, Kyle a
and
nerd
it
though. Kyle a
destroyed
little
them, then
nerd. He
she
got
would not be the right person for him.
Yeah, I know damn well
No,
not to
that's
touch
true.
her high heel shoes. I know if somebody came and be like, "Yeah, stick them up. We want the high heel shoes." No, bro, you gotta kill me.
you
I know
got
she
to
come home
you got to take
and her
everything
high
but
heel
them
shoes
shoes.
missing. I'm in trouble.
Well, maybe you shouldn't say that out
already
loud because if you get her mad enough, she probably will burn all your video games.
That'd be
Yeah, but
crazy. Be reading about Kyle on the
different things
news,
for
man.
different people, though. You understand what I'm saying? There's different things for different people. Some people can't take their girl going outside and they get mad at that. Like there's different things that set them off.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody is not.
You
the
do
same.
gotta know your partner.
You
I
gotta
feel
know
like
your
that's the
person,
most
yeah.
important thing. You gotta know your
That's the
person,
most
you
important
know, and you have to honor and respect them. And people, you don't really know what that is, especially when you come in a relationship. You're hot headed, he's hot headed, and you figuring yourself out, and you're trying to marry, right? Come together, and your hot headedness don't allow you the ego, so much ego involved,
That's
and
another
what you
thing. The
want is
ego
involved.
must go.
But it takes time. It does take time for you to really pay attention to what matters to each other, and then what matters to you, and stay true to yourself while you're honoring your significant other, right? Because there's also times when we go too far one way and we forget who we are, and forget about ourselves, and we lose ourselves in the relationship, right? Trying to be the pleaser, trying to please your partner. So everything is a balance.
Yep. Yep. So that's why I say
Everything
everything. Now, in closing, we're gonna wrap this up in a second. I mean, the conversation started off with the whole Tia Mowry thing, and she have her reasons for wanting a divorce. That's her marriage. That's what she feel like she want to do. But my whole thing was like, I'm not just basing everything on happiness, because when you look at a structure of a house is just not its foundation. You know what I mean? The
Yeah, I
house
think the
is.
Tia Mowry, not to cut you up, but the Tia Mowry thing, because I came in late, it really disturbs me, the message that she's sending out about marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And listening to the interviews, at first I was kind of like, and I'm pretty sure something more going on, something more financial. That's the dynamic, what it seems to be, that it's a different dynamic. But the idea that our marriage was good, but I'm leaving it, because I didn't like that statement either. Just because you were talking about that earlier, I just thought about it when she made that statement about our marriage was good, but I feel like I'm graduating.
Yeah,
Like
that's.
what graduation is better than giving your children the stability of both their parents? What are you graduating to that would make you be
Maybe she was
negligent
mad at
in those
something.
things? And to get on
Right.
social media and publicly have conversations about your spouse and those kids' father that is negative in light. Shut up, sit down, and figure out what's going on with you, that you need this attention, you all over my TikTok or whatever, instead of sitting down somewhere and healing.
And you
Because you
saw her
can't
video she
heal
put out
from
today with her
Hold on.
dancing. She's dancing and gonna
Also,
say it feels good to be able to reach for the remote without anybody interrupting me. I'm like,
But see,
Yeah, I know
but
what
that's
you mean.
speaking to, that's what I was
That's a
saying.
mad
She
person
should have kept
talking
it
that.
out the public eye, because clearly
You're
it's
not
something
mad at
deeper than what
something, or
she's
you ain't
saying.
upset at something. You don't say stuff like that. You
She,
don't put it
yeah,
on the
she,
internet.
yeah,
Bro.
but
yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
You're just trying to
but
get
hold
some
on,
sympathy points
it's
from
something
somewhere.
much deeper. It's something much deeper going on than what she's saying.
Yeah.
So that's why she
I
should have
believe
kept it out
that.
the public eye, because she making it seem I found self love and I graduated. It's something deeper than that going on with him and her, but
Yeah.
she just not saying it.
Well,
She trying
he
to
got
make
on
it all.
social
whole
media
thing.
because people was
She,
accusing him of cheating, and he said, "No, I didn't
but
cheat."
that's what,
So,
but
like,
that's what
he
I'm saying.
said that he got on there and
Should have
said he
just
didn't
handled
cheat.
that. That's why she should have just shut it up and handled that in private.
I
She's
think,
been doing a
she's
lot of she's
prematurely in
been
her
doing a lot
process
of
of
little stuff.
self
Like she
love.
posted on the guy when he was talking about people not paying their bills and your partner not paying their share of the bills, and she gonna put an emoji under it. So she's baiting the public to get in their stuff. and for
Yeah,
what
to get
she
in her
has
pocket.
behaved. You know it's about money, but I don't respect women who are high earners, who have men who are low earners, and you emasculate that man
That's
based on your
another
earning
topic for
potential.
another day,
That's
Sister
really, really
Iris,
whack.
because
But I thought this dude was Tyree. Didn't you say he a movie producer?
he made a couple. He did a
He's
couple
an actor,
movies. But
he's not
you know
her.
how that go. You know how Hollywood go. He did a
He don't
couple
have what she
movies,
got.
and you know, but
I just feel like
But she got him at the bus stop.
I agree. I agree with Iris. I feel like she's in her process of her self love journey, and that is very important. But I think she needs to, part of that is letting go of the ego, right? When you're in your self love journey, right, is letting go of the ego, and there's still a lot of ego involved, and she don't realize it. So when you do things, you have to be mindful of how you harm. Are you harming other people in the midst of doing things? And I think that she does need to go through her process. She might regret this decision. She don't even know that.
Yeah, I'm sure she does.
she gonna
Um,
regret it. Because
Remember what
She
I
might
said?
I
regret this
raised this point
decision.
on one of somebody commented, and I said this. I said, listen, they were saying that she's on her self love. So you on self love at the cost of your family? And then I said, all right. Then people say, well, maybe she outgrew him. Okay, how can you outgrow your spouse? I thought the whole point of growing, because everybody should grow anyway. The whole point of growing is to bring your spouse with you. Now here's the thing.
Wait,
What
Terry.
if what if a man adopt that, right? Let's say my wife didn't have 4 kids, 5 kids, and now she's now she's not the way she was when we first met, and now I feel like I outgrew her, and I make this amount of money now. Now I can go get this type of woman now, and I just leave her in the dust.
They do it all the time.
Tyree, depression.
Yeah, they do.
It does. Depression.
Men.
Tyree, let me tell you something. The mental health is such a
You said, do
serious
men
thing,
trade in their
and when you
personal
feel like
life?
No, I'm talking about men. Not men, boys, and men that just get on something and trade in his homie
Well, if you look
for
at most, if you look
a
at
shorter
most like
sentence. I'm talking
successful
about
men, if we
men.
were just gonna go on Hollywood, a lot of men can't get the woman that they truly desire. If a lot of dudes get money, and money positions them to get next to the type of woman that they could get. So often what I've seen, and this is that even if I came out the celebrity realm, if I just went through my friends and my friend group and men as they've been able to attain more money and styles, they do one or two things. Either they go to LeBron James route, where they only trust this woman because she was with him through the grind, and so therefore he stays, marries her, and does it, or they upgrade to the woman who they never could have, and a lot of men do this. They upgrade to the young hottie or whatever, the eye candy, but they know that this woman is only there because of the thing, so they resent her, make her life hell. Typically, will trade them out really quickly, but that's just the way it goes. And because women become for a man who only sees his worth in his monetary gain, then nothing else has value.
Shoot, I ain't marrying none of them hoes.
Yeah, because
them
and
dudes,
that's the thing. A lot of these dudes ain't
them
married.
dudes is dumb.
Why you think
Them
Nick
dudes that do
Cannon
that is
was?
dumb.
Chris,
Yeah.
Listen to what I'm saying. I'm talking about
you can just go down the list.
A man that you can go in the room and respect him. Like, men know, if I come in the room, I know who I gotta respect and who I don't. Do you understand what I'm saying? Men don't do that. Men don't say, "Oh, I'm just not marrying you, and I feel like I can do this." And they'll have a girlfriend forever.
Yeah,
I don't see men, the manly man, don't trade his chick in that he outgrew on, especially on the financial.
Do. They absolutely do, because a lot of men, manly men.
Yes, they do.
I see what Kyle's saying, and I see what Iris is saying.
No, what Kyle's saying. A lot of these suckers.
Yeah,
you're speaking about manhood from a
that.
space of principle. You're talking about your manhood from a space of principle. A lot of men who have to overcompensate, especially the alpha male type, and all of those men who have to put things on to be a man other than just walking into space and understanding his manhood and what comes with that. A lot of those men compensate. That's why they get the flashy cars, and they got to get the most toys and the sneakers and all that because everything is external.
That's not men.
There's nothing internal.
Yeah, that's not a
But
yeah, because
a lot of these dudes,
those
a lot of these dudes,
what?
a lot of these dudes are stupid though because yo, like Kyle said, they suckers. I'm not gonna. You
90% of niggas out here
marry
suckers.
some. Yeah, you
Gilly the Kid said it the best. He said, if you was a sucker broke, you just a sucker with money.
Hold on, but yeah, exactly. You gonna marry some woman that's just for you for the money, that you know is just there for you for the money.
Yep, I ain't leaving my. Yep, I ain't leaving my wife. I ain't leaving my wife. And that's why I respect LeBron James. LeBron James know the game. He already know. These chicks are drop. They're drop. You know what I mean? Knowing he married.
LeBron James has been in it so long that he's been famous. He already seen the tricks when he was a young boy.
Yeah, them chicks. I wouldn't drop my wife for none of these chicks because I got a little bit of money. Nah. Now that's what I'm saying. That's separate the boys from the men.
That's the thing, because you guys are saying this because you guys are not the men with money, but men like to have. Men like to brag. Okay, men like to brag, and when they have money, they don't care how much they have to pay. If they have whatever they have to walk in the door, and they say they have the baddest chick when I'm walking in the door, they will pay for that.
I know, but
it will be worth every penny.
I know, but this is the difference, though.
For
it's
them,
the difference between. I know, but it's the difference between smashing them and marrying them.
Yeah, and the thing about it,
you can smash them. You can smash them and bring them around. You can smash them. You can smash them and bring them to. Yeah, you can smash them and bring them to places.
Not marrying. They're not leaving their girl.
But I ain't marrying you.
Think about it. Look at Drake. Chris Brown.
I smash you and take you to a party. That ain't mean I'm gonna marry you.
All day.
But you guys are talking about like every woman, like every man that has money. There's women that have just equals as much money, and they can have an intellectual and deeper connection. It don't have to be. There's women out there with money. What's wrong with
that, Jennifer? I'm all for women empowerment, women that have money. You know what I mean? But the thing about the unfortunate part about that is when women get that type of status, they start looking down on men, and that's why dudes in them calibers don't even mess with them type of chicks. Because when women get that type of money, a lot of those men, all you gotta do is just look at the celebrities. Like, look at all the women that's moving, accordingly, and look at this other celebrity, the other men that's moving. Why they ain't messing with each other? Because it's a certain type of ego difference.
It's not important what a girl brings to a table.
No, it's because men want different things than what women want. And I feel like men with money, most of these women with money, they're older, right? And most men with money, they don't want older women. They want younger women, right? So they want different things.
All right, case in point.
You understand?
Case in point, just recently, Bow Wow shot at the wrestler chick. And she pretty much emasculated him on the internet, talk about you too broke to mess with somebody like me.
I know, but I don't think that's real. I think that's like for them to come into the show. I think it's like
oh, you thought that was fake?
They doing that on purpose.
Oh, yeah, if that was real, she played the mess out of Bow Wow, and I'm like, oh snap.
I think she doing that for him. I think she doing that. That's like a thing for him to come to the wrestling.
Oh, all right, yeah, because that was
like
violation. Yeah, I ain't know all that. I ain't know it was that deep, but when I seen that, I'm like, wow.
But Tyree, okay. I wanted to mention earlier, because people just dismiss what people go through, and there's a real thing called midlife crisis, right? And people go through these situations where they feel like they're so lost, or they gave so much of themselves that they never found who they were. And then they're in the midst of finding who they are, and they can find like they're suffocating in a relationship, in a marriage. They feel suffocated, right? So they may leave for those reasons, and it could be very selfish, but at that point, it's like either it's you or it's me, right?
But let me tell you, people make those decisions all the time. That is, though, because most men marry because. But hold on, let me say this. Most men marry mainly because the woman was pressuring them to get married. So women always be the first to pressure a man and to get married, but always be the first one to want to bail. And we can see that in statistics. The divorce rate among you know what I mean?
There's a thing that men don't understand, that pressure that women feel to have to be married. So for instance,
yes.
You are not
That's
valid in
true.
this world.
Yeah.
For most
You are
women, if you are
Society
not
pressure.
married, men talk to you like you're an idiot. They act like you have no worth and they act like you have no value because no man wifed you. So for women, from the time we're very small, we're programmed to get a husband.
But
Men
I
are
don't see
not
that from
programmed
black men
to
though.
get a wife.
No. You see that. You see that. That's always,
I've
bro.
never
You
known a
cannot say
black
that
man to
because
treat
I have sons.
especially a black woman that's
You're looking at
moving
one of them that'll
correct.
look at you
Now
crazy.
it's different.
If I see,
It's difference between
no.
a
Let me say
chick
this.
that's
Let me
in
say
the
this,
hood
Tyrese.
doing
Let me
what
say
she
this.
do around the hood. But
Wait a
I'm
minute,
talking about
Can
a
somebody
woman
else
that
talk
you
over
see
you, bro?
that the chicks that you see that's moving correct, going to school. I don't see men disrespecting them like that.
Nah, Tyree, because if you
But
see a
they
chick
do.
and
Can y'all hear me?
and you, it's all these years and ain't nobody
Y'all hear
wifed
me?
her, you gonna be like, why nobody ain't wifed this chick?
You gotta
You gonna
you
look
gotta
at
go
it
over to,
funny.
hold on real quick. Oh my bad. You gotta
Can
go
you
over
hear
to
me? Can you hear me?
my bad,
Yeah, I
y'all.
can hear you.
Can you hear me? All right.
Yeah.
I
Now I'm
can hear
talking about
you.
the folk on TikTok.
No. What I was saying was,
Go over to
that's
YouTube,
true. If
click the
you look
link
at
in my
it, if you
bio,
look at,
and we on
if you
YouTube
look
and
at, say,
Facebook. Click
a 30-year-old
time in
woman,
on the
right?
conversation
You
over there.
just meeting her. You just meeting her.
Yeah.
And she be like, yeah, I've been single for the past 5 years or 2 years. In the back of your
You're
mind,
like,
you're like,
what?
what's wrong with her? What's wrong with her?
What you mean?
Oh,
Oh,
no, this ain't gonna work. Because she gonna be bringing, the first thing you think, she brings problems, she do this, she do, whatever it is, it's in the back of your thought of a bad woman.
mm-hmm.
That's automatic. She don't have kids at 35. What's wrong with her? That's
She ain't
just
got no
something. She not
kids.
married. She never been
She ain't
married
got
at
no
40.
kids, and she
What's
been
wrong with her?
single. She ain't got no kids at 35, and she been single the last
But
5 years.
why
You
something
like
got to be
what?
wrong with her?
Because
Nah,
I'm
Yeah.
not
Why?
saying it is
gotta
Why
something
did
be
she
wrong with
came
her.
something.
from a bad
That's the
relationship and
first
she
thing
was
you gonna
trying to
think.
heal herself before going into another bad relationship?
If
But
she
we're talking
That's
about the
35
what you're
years
gonna
old,
think.
conversation.
You
We're
if
don't
she
not
have
talking
time
about
to
the
35
sit
years,
truth
there.
of it.
hold
We're
on.
talking
If
about the
hold on,
conversation, how it's looked at.
hold on, if she's 35 years old and she a good looking woman, she ain't got no kids, and she stay chronically single. Something is up with this. You gonna think something is up
I
with
know.
this chick.
I happen to know a chick like that. That's real pretty.
Majority of them
She
is
ain't got
though.
no
I'm not
kids.
saying all
But
of
the
them,
thing is,
but
she's career
think
driven.
about this.
She's career driven. She got, she spent a lot of
Okay,
time
so
on her
then that means that
education and
so
she
that
make a
means she
lot of
not
money
wifey
in her
material.
career.
So
But
that
I'm
means
not
she
saying
not
that. I'm
wifey
not saying
material.
I don't know her on a dating level. But because I don't know, I don't know. But
So you
some
can't
women
say you
don't.
can't use her as
Some
a
women
what's
don't
it?
Yeah,
want
You
but
don't
kids.
know her
a
on
lot of
dating
them
level.
women, a lot of them women
She
that
would be
been
nuts.
career driven, a lot of them women that been career driven till 40 years old, and that's their life. A lot of them
It's just,
don't really know how
let,
to be in a relationship.
That
let me
might be
say
true.
this.
I don't
It's
know.
the same. It's the same with a dude. Say a dude is 30 years old, still on the corner. What's wrong with this nigga? You gonna say that? It's automatically gonna come out your mouth. What's wrong with this dude? Why
God.
he still trying to sell drugs
You know
at 30
what? You're
years
right.
old?
Because I feel the same way about gang members. Like,
What's
how are you still in
no?
your, how
Yeah,
you 30,
exactly.
30
How
and
you a
30
gang
and
member
40 and you
at 30
still
years
talking
old?
about, man, you know what I mean? I can't stand
With
that, man.
authority,
Like,
gang signals.
I'll have
What's
no
up with you, bro?
respect for no dude around my
And
age
yo,
that's
But
still
wait,
talking
Tyree,
up
going
gang
back to
signs.
what you're saying, right? You say women tend to bail out first, but like Iris was saying, the societal pressure of women from when you are from when you're a child. You're 5 years old, and all you see Disney princess is finding Mr. Prince Charming, right? And everything you see is leading you to that, right?
I
To
don't think,
being a
yeah.
wife. And then once you're in that position, right, you think this is what happiness is, right? This is the picture they sell you. You're going to be happy when you find a husband and this and the fourth, and you have your family. And then when you're in that situation, because they never prepare you as a child, how hard it is to be an adult,
But
right? It's like
that's not
you
what.
you see your parents and you're like,
That's not.
dang,
I was just about to
you
say,
never told us
men don't
adulting
write
was
those
this
stories.
difficult
I think women put them,
until you
Men don't write those stories.
women put them stigmas on themselves, just like the whole BBL thing.
That is not true.
Every woman
Women
think
don't
getting
put
the
that.
That is not true.
Well,
That's
I'm
not,
gonna break
no.
it down. I'm gonna
No.
say it from a man's
We are
point of
in
view.
a
I know y'all say it from.
patriarchal society that tells
Vern just
women
said she's
that
not
our
wife
job
material.
is
What does
to
that mean? In his
bear
head, he already has
children.
what a wife material type of person is.
How? Shoot,
Because
we come
society
from the
has
hood.
deemed what a
We
wife
don't know what a
material
wife
woman
what I
is.
was saying was that if I'm single and I come across this woman who damn near 40 years old, she's a good looking woman. But this chick is telling me she chronically single, no kids, no nothing. I'm thinking something is up in the back of my
All right,
head.
but look, check this out. I
And
think
she has kids, you're gonna think something's up too. So you're gonna still find something up regardless.
No,
If she was a single mom with kids, if she was
if she's had
married
a
and got
few,
divorced, you're gonna be like, what happened? Why
hold
she
on,
got
Jennifer.
divorced?
No,
There's
that's not
always gonna
true.
be something that's gonna
I'm
raise
a
an
fix
eyebrow.
and think. Now hold on. If she's 40 and got a few kids and done been in a relationship or two, what you call the word? I'm a inquire more. But I'm not going to think something necessarily wrong with her. But if she is of this age and she chronically single, ain't had a man in 6 years, and 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 yo, you thinking something, and she's a good looking woman, you thinking something is up. Something can't be right with this chick.
now check this out. Now this what I mean about whole thing. Young girls, they from a small age, they play with the Barbie dolls. They this whole pressure of, well, I can even say pressure. This whole fantasy of the family and all this stuff is put into young girls. It's not that type of stuff is not put into young men. Like, we don't think about in our 20s.
No.
It is so.
No, it is not. It is not.
It is no.
Listen,
It's not.
Let me tell you.
It's not like,
no.
Come on.
Check this.
I was with my wife 12 years before we got married. Marriage wasn't even on my radar when we got married.
Without you cutting me off, please.
I was talking first. I'm trying to make my point real quick, Kyle.
But you talking to everybody, bro.
Jennifer was talking. I'm just adding on. But hold on. All right,
I agree with Tyree. I don't think guys are prepared. Boys are playing video games. All they care about is their stuff, video games and smashing girls. They're not thinking about anything. Women thinking about becoming. Most women is about becoming a woman and a wife, and everything is that's in the forefront of a woman. It's like,
no.
And that's what I was about to say, because like, when you think about young girls. When you think about young girls they're like almost like eager to get pregnant at a young age. I had a baby at 14. You know what I mean? I wasn't prepared to be no dad at 14. You know what
but you had a whole different circumstance, bro.
But
your circumstance is totally different.
But what I'm saying is, young girls, it's like force fed onto them, because even coming into like their 20s, they want to settle down. Young girls, they 15, 16, 17. Hold on. They want to settle down, and these young boys is not even thinking about settling down.
Tyree, I do agree with Iris and Jennifer, because even other women will look at women like, that bitch ain't married. She ain't. They look down.
But I'm talking about young girls. I'm talking about young girls up and growing up. Like,
but they do feel that pressure from young.
It would depend on the environment, because young girls are not trying to be nobody's wife.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I was trying to get to.
Girls who are in a hardened environment, who are exposed to growing up quickly, you're going to see those behaviors. The majority of young women, that's why the biggest myth out there is that young girls love older men. That is the biggest lie that society has allowed to exist, that is mind-boggling. Young girls are attracted to your stability or whatever, but none of us in our 30s and in my 30s, I was still popping. But now that I've been almost 50, I'm not what I was at 20. But guess what? Neither is my husband or any other man around that age. We all decline in our youth. But younger girls will attach. I dated someone who was double my age at 20. He was 40. And I was a dumbass. And I believed that I was smart and I was mature and I was all of those things. But I was a child. At 20, I was still a child. When I'm working with these young girls, they're not talking about getting married. They're not talking about going down the aisle. They're talking about their careers and their futures, and that's where they are. But can he please finish his point at the top? Because I've been waiting to hear what he had to say. He got cut off so many times.
Go ahead, Kyle.
You said that boys don't have no expectations. Yes, they do. We're expected to provide.
Who said that?
That's in our brain, huh? No, Tyrese was saying girls have all the expectations and boys grow up without them. That's a lie, bro. We have all types of expectations.
All type of pressure, bad pressure.
Do this, do that. Make sure you get rich. But that's an expectation, Tyrese. You can't say.
Yeah.
I'm talking about far as being a husband.
Say that.
At a young age.
Yeah, but you still got the pressure because you grew up and you ain't getting money, and you ain't getting money.
They don't
like
say
you can't take care of a girl. In the corner. Yeah, if you can't like take a girl out and you ain't getting money, a dude looked at like a bum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's why these.
Let Kyle finish talking.
Go ahead, Kyle.
No, I'm finished. Marriage. No, it's a lot of matter of fact.
So I have 4 sons, and I have stepsons too. So I'm smushed in with boys, right? Mm-hmm. And in being around all of these boys, what I noticed is there was no pressure on any of them to get married. Nobody's concerned with marriage. Everything is about career.
You didn't say that, Tyrese. You said pressures, period.
Having money. Not getting a wife. A wife is an incidental thing that happens to you, and there's surely no pressure. So, for instance, my oldest son is 28 years old. He is divorced. He got married really young. There is no he did that on his own, but there's no expectation of him to be married anywhere before he's well in his 30s. It's just not going to happen. And
but it's expectations on the man to be successful.
To do so.
Yeah, but a man is successful if they want to, because a man picked their wife. A woman don't pick her husband. A man picks their wife. So the pressure for men to get married there's no pressure, because when they want to decide, they can just decide, right? Meanwhile, a woman has to try to do what she needs to do to get the man to marry her.
Well, hold on, is y'all talking about marriage pressures or societal pressures? Because this is
societal pressure, both.
Beauty has nothing to do with marriage.
Man, hold on. It's a lot of societal pressure on a man.
We're not talking about that.
Not a lot of societal pressure on a man to be married. It's not a lot of societal pressure on a man to be married.
But it is a societal pressure on a man to be
the societal pressure on women to be married only comes from other women.
Because
there are societal pressure on men to provide and to be a man. Well, once they have a family. But before they don't have a family, the man can do whatever they want.
It is. No, you can't, because if a man is a bum,
the society telling girls that they have to be beautiful and all this. And then he said, and boys don't have any pressure on. That's when I was like, no, that's false.
It's mad pressure, because if you ain't getting money, if you're not perceived as getting money, not too many of these girls gonna want you.
None of them will.
Well, unfortunately, we moved to a space we moved to a space where it's very dangerous, because all I hear on social media is this big push for girls to get men who are going to pay all the bills, who they're going to sit in the house and they're not going to work anymore. And it's very rare, especially with the Black community earning being what it is. Typically, it's going to take 2 incomes to run that house. So I think when people think about Kevin Samuels, I think one of the biggest things that he did to harm our community is talk about this quote unquote high value man.
Yep.
And not bring character in this conversation anywhere. It was all about money.
You better watch it. That's Kyle's boy.
I disagree with you. I think that I disagree with what you're saying, Iris. Because I think Kevin Samuels did bring attention to what women were thinking. They are disillusioned, thinking that they want a man that makes all this money, right?
Those days are over.
And that's all they want. And he kept saying that about the average man. Your average woman settle for an average man. And all the women don't want an average man. They want a high value man, right? Quote unquote. And that's what he kept trying to pop their bubble, saying, but what qualifies you for a high value man when you're an average woman? An average woman
I am a
should be with
communications
an average
major.
man.
So if you examine the way he
Over to
spoke to
YouTube.
people, he asked you
Time on the
questions and then he
conversation.
told you what you wanted.
Go
So
to
he
YouTube.
always
I
was
know,
in
but the
control of those
thing,
conversations.
no, I agree,
So you
but
would say,
the thing
so I'll
is,
give you an example.
And timing on
If
the
I'm on
discussion.
this show and I say I don't want to work once I have children, which I didn't have to, even though we didn't, my husband was not making six figures at that time. We sacrificed down to be able to do that. He would say, do you want to work when you have your children? The woman say, no, when I have my babies. And he would say, you need a man making at least $100,000 a year. That's how it went. And you can go back and watch it again and again and again. And so those conversations were led. Now
but
I'm
his
not here to
thing, but his,
He
critique
but his
control
thing
anything
was,
or
he control the narrative to say that
like I
what
said,
you
I'm
need
not
yeah,
is
here to
basically
I'm
what you
not here
want
to
is
attack
what
his
you.
message. I'm not here to attack his message. What I'm saying to you is it put a conversation out there that became about six figures and about
no,
nothing about men's character. Even when he spoke to
no,
men
he
and
wasn't
they
Nah,
saying
wanted to
that.
nah,
know,
he
hey,
He's
nah.
saying
No,
you need
I
to
gotta
no,
know
that's
disagree with
not
that,
true.
sister.
Hold on, I
Yeah.
gotta no. He was telling these women. He was telling these women, won't you get a man with character? Why won't you settle for that man
Well,
that's
yeah.
making
Why
50,000?
don't you
They didn't.
find out
A
who
lot of
he
he
these
did
is?
women,
not. You can
a lot of these women didn't want the man with character. They want the man that's making the money.
Yo, we
They
kind of
want the
got
man
off
that's making the
topic.
six figures. No, but
We
I
I'm
was gonna
not.
say,
did,
but the
like,
thing
I'm
way
about it
off
saying
is,
topic.
he didn't say go
he.
get a man with 50,000. He said that you need a
No,
man.
he
You
was
want
saying.
these things.
Yes,
He
he
was saying
did.
words.
He
He
will say
said
that
He
all
things
the
really
like
said
time.
it.
You would say
Yeah,
that all
he
the
would
time, Sister
say
Iris.
he was
things
saying to
like
these women.
he would say
He was
things that
he's
were very
no
just like
Kevin
he would
Samuels.
say things. He would say things
No,
that were very leading. And on
no,
top, I mean,
Kevin's
this is the same person who told a woman if her daughter was being touched on and that she shouldn't leave before that. So I mean, like I said, there was some
That
things
well,
was
he
I don't
said
know.
crazy.
that I
Yeah,
didn't
that was
agree
I
with.
don't
crazy.
know.
I'm
Yeah, he
not
said
I don't know
that.
about
negating his
that
whole
part.
message.
I
But
don't know
y'all,
about
I'm
that
not
part. But
negating his whole
hold
message.
on a
Let me
regular
be very clear
basis.
what I'm saying because it's getting pushed to something else. I am not negating his whole message. What I'm saying to you is it the same way on social media, all we hear now is accountability, feminism, blah, blah, blah. It put a talking point out that was high value men, six figures, blah, blah, blah. Those were not the conversations preceding him. They were not.
I
That
know, but his
conversation
main.
started with him. Now, whether it was right or wrong or be with an average guy, all I'm saying is a lot of women now have locked into this six-figure man thing. And now it's become a universal thing because you can know the patterns of what people say. And before you would not hear women just randomly saying, I want a man to make six figures. But now you will
I think
definitely
women
hear
were saying
a
that
lot
already
more. You
before
will
Kevin
also hear
Samuels.
men
Yeah,
talk
I
about
mean,
they
all
having
these
was already
Cardi
women
saying
that
that.
B,
don't work.
all these rapper chicks, they also, that's what all they kept saying is they want a
That's
man
all
who
they
buy them
kept
a
saying.
Birkin. All these things that they're putting out there to these young minds. These girls are soaking all this up before Kevin Samuels. I've been hearing this. Girls think that, oh, I want a man who makes money, and they think that $100,000 comes easy. So
If
I
this
think
nigga
that this
if he
conversation was
can't buy me
something
a
that was
Birkin
way before
bag, he ain't
Kevin
nothing.
Samuels.
And
I was
hold on,
And, and
39 when
that's
I
true.
started
He
making
back.
six
let
I
me
mean,
say
figures.
to Iris.
I'm from Foxy Brown and Jay Z and them talking about that kind of stuff. However, social media allows things to reach the masses in a way that it didn't before. And so we
I
talk
know,
about
but
the messaging around relationships and around what gives worth. When men are told that their only worth is how much money they have, and women are told that their only worth is their beauty, we have a powder keg of a situation going on.
But
We
who's
have
telling
a
men and
really
women
bad.
well,
this?
hold on, but that's not what Kevin Samuels was doing. He was strictly telling these women, if you want to be happy, why won't you settle for the man making 50, $60,000 that want to be a family man? Why won't you settle for that? He constantly told these women that all the time. And these women did not want to listen. All they wanted was this man, this fantasy guy that's making 6, 7 figures, and they think that's gonna be faithful to them. And he was saying, "Yo, you living in a fantasy if you think that." That was his main point. He kept telling these women, "Okay, you want to be happy," and then some of these women, was suspect. And you want this supposed high value man, and you ain't about
Like I
One
money.
said,
You
joint
he
with
don't
that
look
ashy
like
also
lips.
he
She was the
also
epitome. Like,
devalued the earnings of women, the beauty
huh?
of women. he also devalued women who
Well,
earned
some of
money,
these
who made
women, but
income.
we got to
that's
keep it
not.
real to
That's
And
a
you hear
point,
but
and
though.
you
that's
know
true in life.
what's the worst part of it? The worst part of it is if you go out and date men, men will say to you, I work here, I earn this is my
Oh God.
education or whatever. It became to the
15
point where that
minutes.
became
Can
the
y'all
sing
hear?
song for women, where women are
I'm
now, oh, if you're leading with your degrees or whatever. And I'm like, on what human planet are we talking about how humans interact and get to know each other and build relationships where people are not discussing? I have never met a man who was not impressed by my education, my earning. Like, I've never met a man who said, oh, that doesn't matter. Only in these
Yeah,
fantasy
but
can I say
lifestyles.
something?
Yeah, that,
Can I say something?
but every man is not worried
Can I,
about that.
yeah,
Everybody's not so
yeah.
worried about that.
Listen.
My wife got
A
a
man
lot of
who got sick is worried
degrees.
about a
Can
woman
I say
credit.
something? Can
No,
I say
he's
something
not worried
on that?
about. I'm not worried about your
He lied to
degrees.
you.
Yeah.
He lied to you. Because, like, men, I don't know what it is. We don't care about that. We really don't.
I don't. I really
care
don't.
less. What
Now,
you
if
got,
he's a Pookie or
what
Ray
school
Ray, he
you
might
went
just
to,
worry about
I'm
it.
gonna ask you because it's conversation. And I'll be like, oh yeah, that's crazy. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I really
No,
don't
in
care.
my pool, in my echelon of friends, yeah, the men are looking for women who have certain
Can
who
you
have
hear the
certain
conversation
credentials.
now? Go ahead.
And so
I'm
when
talking
you
to people
talk, when you
on
say
TikTok. Go ahead.
things like it doesn't matter, maybe to you three, but if I would go through when I see that, including the one I'm with, oh,
A lot of them are
absolutely,
lying.
those things are perks. Not that
A lot of them
it's
are
the only
lying.
thing that matters, but again,
Put
when
them,
that pandemic
put them on
happened
a tooth
and he was
machine.
sat
I bet
down,
you the answer be different.
what'd you say?
I said put them on like a lie detector test. I promise you,
I
at
guarantee
least
you it won't. When the
95% of them be
pandemic
lying.
happened, when we first of all
That
we've known
joint be
each other
jumping off the
forever.
screen.
First of all, one of the things, no, it didn't matter. Yes, it does. And I think for a lot of men who say it doesn't matter, it does. Because a lot of men know that if something
No,
happens,
that's
they need their
but
partner to be able to pick up the slack and hold up things. Now, I'm not a person who has to leave with my
But
education because it really doesn't matter. But
no.
my earning potential,
It's
my
great
business
that y'all
savvy,
have
and
it.
those things
It's great that y'all have it.
absolutely
But
mattered. And absolutely my ability to be able to manage finances and handle the house absolutely mattered. And when I wasn't going back to school, he was the number one person. Go back to school, get your degrees, do those things, pushing, supporting, and very much
that's what we'll do.
yeah, but
encouraging
that was
We'll
him.
those things.
I
we
mean,
And when
every
clearly
he talks
man.
about who his and how I know it matters when he talks about who his wife is, he talks about those things I've achieved. He's
okay.
leading with
Let
that,
me tell
not
you
me.
this. Let me tell you this. There's not 100% that's anything. So I'm not saying the dude that you're talking about didn't care, but majority of them don't.
They don't.
But you know why they say that? Because the majority of men who are not at the same place as their woman will downgrade her. I would never be offended by a man telling me where he's at, what his career is, what he's doing, those things, because that says a lot about who you are as a
But
person,
what
your
would be
ability to fix things.
as a
And what I
But what
know
we
is,
saying is,
like
but
I
what we
said,
saying is, but
in my
but
friend
what we
group of
saying
very
is,
successful men, they absolutely want a woman bringing something to the table who is bringing what they got or more. And that's just what I'm seeing with who my people are married to.
uh,
They're not married to somebody who's just so pretty.
Mm,
They're not. And if you look at successful men, look at who they're married to.
that's true. But a lot
what's true? What's true?
a lot of successful men aren't married to like supermodels. That's
They ain't
real.
married.
That
They ain't
doesn't
ugly
matter.
to ugly
They
But
ones
that
marry
does
either.
people that they
but that
like.
goes to show
They
that
I'm
married the
not talking
if
ugly
about that.
ones
I'm talking about if
either.
you start talking about the top men and look at the women that they're married to, men in corporate America, men in business, men who that a lot of people say that they're not married to, but they tend to be very much married to women who are career women who are highly educated. You could just go through the Senate and look at the presidents. Look at men who run
If
corporations. Look at Bill Gates. Look at their wives. Look
you
at those wives. Look at their credentials. They're not marrying
because
you just because
that's
you're
who they was
pretty. They're
around.
marrying you
They'll marry you
and
I
broke and
agree.
dumb just as
what
quick
else
as
you
they
can
Men
marry
do
you.
contribute.
like women who are educated, but they don't like them to be like super career driven. So men do like
Right.
when they be like, "Oh, my wife is this and that," right? And they can say all her accolades, but they don't want her so career driven because they do need her to be a wife, a mother, and a support system. So they want them to be educated, have those things, because that's what they brag about, right? But they also want that woman to be able to hold down the house while
They
they're
don't want the
doing what
dumb
they
idiot
have to
that
do.
can't add 2 + 2, but they don't really. I'm not saying they don't appreciate them. I'm not saying that, but they don't care.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like if it's
And plus,
one way
you
or
got
the
to
other,
remember,
if
a
the
lot
girl
of
was
men at
dumb
that
or the
level
girl was,
anyway, they probably told it, go do something you love to do. Like, go.
Because the majority of the women who are so career driven, they're single. Because they
if
spend
they
a
walk in
long
McDonald's,
time
if those
trying
men that you're
to
talking about
focus
walk
on
in
career,
McDonald's
and
and they
now they
say,
can't find a partner, a life partner. It's been very
No,
difficult
what I
for them to
find
find a
is
life partner because of
a lot of women who are single and focused on career are just not the ideal of what a man wants, because
I don't think so.
everybody
I
is
don't agree
career
with
driven.
that.
All of
Yeah, I
my
don't agree
friends,
with that.
nobody is not married. Men will, and as career driven as I am, a business owner or whatever, if I divorced my husband tomorrow, I could have another great husband within a year. They're going to marry me.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not
You
being
say you
cocky, but it
wouldn't or
is
you
what it
would?
is.
You say you wouldn't or you would?
I would. I would have
Oh.
a husband. A husband is. But my girlfriends and I were joking about that. We were like, these women who cannot get married, what is going on with them? Like real.
But
talk.
that's because you already know how
it's
to
not
get
a
married.
guarantee that.
These women don't
But
know how to get married.
Yeah,
When you
so
already
yo,
have the you have
let
the
me say
skill
this.
set.
hold on. It's
Let me
no
say this.
guarantee that you're gonna get a man
I caught
in
on
a
something.
year. It's no
I caught
guarantee
on
of that.
something. Listen. Oh, my fault.
Excuse me. It's
Can
no
you hear
guarantee
me?
that
No,
who can't.
it's no guarantee that
Me?
you'll get a man in a year.
You said, Iris, you said at the beginning,
And hold on.
you do everything, like you prioritize your man, right?
I do. I do.
Yes. So
I
I'm
do.
sure you can get you can get married in 6 months because you prioritize your man. Most girls don't prioritize their man.
Hell no.
Yeah.
You
Yep.
said it. You
So
said
that's
That's what I'm
that.
saying.
So you can
You already
get
have
married
the
'cause
skill
you know how
set
to
to
do
be
it.
married. You know what it takes to
You
be
know how
married. So
you
of
know,
course
you
you're
know
coming
what
from
it
a
takes
married
when
perspective. Like
yeah,
I'm a married
I
woman,
can't
right? So
get with
I
her.
know what
When
took
I
me
come
to
in the
get
house,
married
her hands
and
got
what
out for this.
take.
right.
Go ahead.
So knowing
That's
that's
true.
like having a skill set. A lot of these women who are single, they never got
They
to
don't
get
have
married, so they don't know how to get that. They don't know how to obtain a marriage. You know what I'm saying? So already having that skill set, even coming out of a bad marriage, having the skill set, knowing what a bad marriage is an advantage because now you know how to move in even to the next marriage. So it is different. Like I look at a lot of women, and I believe the same thing as you. I know the skill set I have as a woman. You know what I'm saying? I can be a benefit to a lot of different, make a marriage. You know what I'm saying? Because of the skill set I carry. So I agree with you with that. I feel like if me and Vern was to separate, and I feel like I'm confident enough that I can find a husband.
But it's not a guarantee.
No, she could probably guarantee
Nothing.
that.
Life is not a
Because let me
guarantee.
tell you,
But that's
let me tell
different.
you why she
But
probably
hold
could
on, let me
guarantee
say
that.
this,
Let me
and
say
that's
this.
what I'm saying. A
Hold
lot
on,
of
let me
these
say this real
women-
quick, Vern. Let me say this.
hold
I'm
on,
gonna tell you why she
hold
could
on,
probably
Tyler,
guarantee
hold
that.
on.
Because the thing that a lot of women have that discernment in knowing who's a buzzer and who's not. Like me personally, I'm a husband. I ain't no boyfriend. I ain't boyfriend material. I'm a husband. I love the whole concept of family. So if I meet a woman, I already know what I'm looking for. I already know, all right, if she want to just always go out to the bar and all right, that ain't for me because that ain't my life. I'm trying, what I mean, I'm an at-home person. I know what I want and how I want. So if my wife and I was divorced and I'm back out there, I already know what I'm looking for. You know what I mean? And know how to vet out a woman. And look, like Jennifer and Iris, they've been married for a while. So they already know what they used to, their mans, and they used to how you are. They know where to, I ain't gonna say know where to find these type of men, but they already know the direction they want to go in. So,
But what I'm saying is, my point was that
And you know
these
what man
career.
wants to get married. And the thing
But
is
hold
that
on, what I'm
women are
saying
very
is,
savvy. So once you have
but
a
what I'm
skill set,
saying
you know
is,
how to rein it back in.
but what I'm saying is, a lot of these career-driven women don't have that skill set. So that's why a lot of them be single, because a lot of them don't
But
have
that's what
that
I was
skill set.
saying.
Yeah.
And they don't even really have the desire to acquire that skill set.
Yeah,
So
but
that's
we
why
might.
a
Yeah,
lot of them stay
Well, I was gonna
single.
we
say,
got to
that's
wrap
also a
this up
lot of
because
them
we
Well, they
got
don't
don't
off
know how
topic,
to.
y'all.
They don't know how to get
they
it.
don't
They
know
don't
how
know
to
how to
receive
obtain
it.
it.
They
Huh?
don't want to
Well, a lot of
receive
them
it.
don't
They
even
want to
have the
be.
desire to get it.
They want to act like an independent contractor instead of a partnership,
Yeah.
Mm.
and it
Into
can't
her
work.
business.
Yeah,
Yep.
she
It
said.
can't work. It can't
Independent. I
work.
like that. I'm gonna have to use that. Independent contractor. I'm gonna have to
They
use
You
never
don't
that.
Kevin
want to be.
Samuels.
You want to
Hey,
come in and
Kevin
pop into the
Samuels.
relationship
Kevin
and act like it's a
Samuels.
business deal.
I,
It's a
I
partnership.
think.
We both got to put it. We both got to show up to this thing, and I've
And I
got to be
have,
able to compromise.
yeah, I have a. Before we go, like even with Kevin Samuels, I have a agree and disagree thing with him. I don't. His delivery was poor, but a lot of stuff he said was on point.
See, I
It was
don't like
definitely on
that,
point.
man. I don't like that
Yeah.
delivery poor
Because you
nonsense,
don't
man.
you just
Because
can't
you
be
can
calling
deliver.
chicks fat
Hold
and
on,
all
you
that
Get your
know,
stuff.
but
feelings
time out,
out of it.
Tyree. I got to
Get your
disagree with
feelings
that,
out
man.
of it.
No, hold on. I hate when people say this delivery bullshit because yo, you can talk to somebody the nicest way ever, and they still don't
And
listen.
thank you, Vern.
So all
You
this
know what?
delivery stuff we talking about, you can talk to somebody so nice, so this
See,
to the blue in the
I don't agree
face,
with his delivery
and
either. I just think that his delivery was the reason why people tuned in. So if he didn't use the form of the way he delivered his
Nobody
message,
would.
then people
Exactly.
wouldn't have tuned in. Even though
that
I didn't
too.
appreciate his
Well,
delivery either, because I feel
People
like
tuned in.
you know,
So what delivery are you supposed? What
People
delivery?
tuned
What's
in
the
because there's
delivery?
not when he was giving that energy to black men, no one cared. But people enjoyed watching black women be humbled. You know, it's like black women can't
well,
move into their agency. If a black man if a man says he wants a woman who is a supermodel or whatever, I see guys who have no business having such woo standards, in my opinion. But another man's not going to check that man. But watching him be
But hold on,
disgusting
Iris.
to
Let me ask you
women,
this
men
question.
enjoyed
So
watching it. And when we say that the way we deliver messages
so
doesn't matter, it absolutely matters because the way I speak to you shows whether I find you valid
I
or
know,
not.
but
So therefore, as a lot of
but
black
you
people
know,
feel as though they're tough love. A lot of black people feel like talking down to. A lot of black people feel as though being abrupt and disgusting is the way to deliver a message. It is the exact opposite way to deliver a message.
but
If
can
I
I say
want
this
to
to
be
you?
respectful, if I want to be reciprocal, and if I want to be heard, my tone absolutely matters. The way I
But
speak to you absolutely matters. As a woman, when I'm speaking to you, if I'm soft, you can hear me as a man. As a man, you can
but
hear me. If you're authoritative or whatever, I shut down to the message. I can't receive it because I feel attacked.
I know,
but
but what I'm
I
saying.
agree and I
Let me
disagree with you,
hold
Iris. You
on,
know
Jennifer.
what?
Hold
Women
on,
are
Jennifer.
so
Hold on,
funny.
Jennifer. Hold on, Jennifer. Let me
Women
jump
want
in.
a
Hold on.
man.
Hold on, Jennifer.
Wait,
Hold on.
let me say one
Time out,
point.
Jennifer.
Let me say
I
one
know, but
point,
hold
Vern.
on, Jennifer. No,
Women.
no, I gotta say this. Hold on, I gotta say this. Because
this is getting intense.
when Kevin, but I hate when I hear like this. They just wanted to see women humble. Yo, if you seen this dude content, how he was on the men, no women had a problem with it. No women was like, you talking to this
Nobody
man
was
too
watching it.
harsh. Hold on, but time
He
out.
had a
Hold
huge
on.
Nobody was
following then.
watching it.
He was saying to these men,
Nobody
you
was
ain't
He
got
was
no
watching it.
money.
roasting.
Hold on. He was saying to these men, you ain't got
Real
no
rap.
money.
Nobody was watching
How
it.
you think you gonna get that woman? He was speaking so harsh to the men, and no woman had a problem. No woman
Nobody
had no
watched it.
issue with it.
He didn't
After
go
you did it.
viral
Yes, they
until he
did.
started talking about women.
I'm talking about when he
His
Hold
did
on,
it.
views
Vern.
went
You
up.
Let me say
know.
what
That's why
I
he
want to
pivoted
say.
his content.
I'm talking
Go
about.
ahead,
That's
Jennifer.
he even said it.
I'm talking about
He
when Kevin
pivoted his
Samuels was.
content because
Hold
men
on.
don't want to be held accountable. He said men did
No,
not
I'm
want to
saying.
hear it.
I'm
Both,
talking about when
but
Kevin
that goes
Samuels
for
was
both
talking
men and
to
women though.
men.
He
Hold on, when
proved that.
Kevin Samuels was talking specifically to the
Well,
men,
black women don't like each other, about a lot of them. So they would sit to, they were his number one supporters, thinking they were the elephant in the room that wasn't going to get the smoke. They thought they were going to be the one he would say that you are the good one. They all wanted that validation. Number one, because they don't got no father. There's a lot of women who need validation from men due to the lack of fathers. Number
so then
two, because
why
they thought
didn't
they would be the
Let me
unicorn that
tell
passed the test.
so why didn't
Iris, this is
nobody
my point.
complain?
I agree, and the
Why
reason
didn't
why
no
I
hold
disagree
on?
with you is
Why nobody
Vern.
didn't
Let me
Let
complain
her
when
speak.
go,
Kevin
Vern.
Samuels?
Vern, let me
Hold on,
say something.
I didn't even get to finish. Hold on. Why didn't none of these women complain when Kevin Samuels was talking to the men harsh? No women
Nobody was
complained
watching it.
about his tone. Matter of fact, they were saying you need to be harder. Nobody was complaining about his tone or none of that. Nobody was
First of all, nobody
complaining
was watching.
until he started, because the reason sometimes men got to use that tone, because a lot of women don't want to be corrected. They want to have that behavior unchecked. A lot of women do not want to be checked at all. You can speak to somebody in the softest voice, they don't want to hear the shit.
If you talk to them
Let
in a
me say
harsh tone, they
something,
don't
Vern.
receive it either.
Women
And just because
are
people feel like
masochists, right? In a
that's why we're having
certain.
an issue with our children now. Our children are damaged because they've been spoken down to. Because people feel as though speaking disgustingly to someone makes them more receptive. And so therefore you're going to hear me because I said it to you nasty. No, all you did was inflict a wound on me while you said something to me that I
But
didn't
what
want
was
to
he
hear
saying that
one
was
way or the
nasty,
other.
though? What was he saying that was nasty?
I don't think it was nasty. I just think that he was so direct. And the thing is that women, we are masochists, right? We want people to talk to us soft, but we don't listen when they talk to us soft. The moment the daddy figure comes in and it's like, what did I say? We start listening, right? Because it's something about the
Jennifer, I was
alpha
just
male.
about to say
When we
that.
have an alpha
I was
male
Women
just
didn't
about
coming
to
listen to
say
in
that.
him.
and talking, when there's a man,
Women
there's
didn't listen to
authority.
him.
When we see there's authority, we kind of like, wait a minute. And that's something that's inside of us that we like. So there's a masochist. A women can be masochist in that
I
form.
was just
It's
about to
like,
say that.
we want to be spoken soft to, and we take advantage of men that talk to us soft or treat us so soft. We don't want that man. We want the man that can, speak to us a certain type of way too. We want strength in a man. So at the end of the day, he had to use the strength of his voice and the alpha male to lure most of those women in for them to listen. Because even though if he would have been saying the same thing in a soft tone, the women wouldn't listen. They would just walk all over him
Nobody
because they'll
listened
find
to
them as a
him.
pushover.
Even 90% of the women on his show went off arguing about the point. So they did not listen to him, even
No,
though he had an
he
aggressive
had a lot
tone.
of women
They did
supporters. The
not
majority of
listen
his
whether he
supporters were
spoke
women.
soft or hard. But like I said, people enjoyed the shit show. I mean, they enjoyed watching him dismantle women, and
Actually,
they
when I
loved it.
watched it, I watched a lot of the women that had a lot of women have like they brought it upon themselves when they called. They sounded
Courtney,
retarded, right? They don't know how to speak for themselves. They don't know what they truly wanted, and they put themselves in a situation that's like going into the lion's
when he
den.
did come
And
on,
it's
he
like
did come on.
they couldn't hold an argument. They couldn't articulate what they really wanted. They just know I want a man that makes six figure or this and the fourth,
Well, they
and they
could
sounded
never
so
win
retarded.
because I
So
study
I felt
communication.
like
I can see the thing. He did not allow. If you watch the way the conversations work, it was already rigged against you. You could not win. He could make sounds over you. He could do whatever. So even when women had valid arguments, he just kind of slammed them with data, which was kind of skewed because all of those data and numbers weren't exactly right. But let's go with it. And he would use that. He had very specific tactics because they're not skilled in the art of debate. When you're going in with an orator like him, you cannot win that debate.
Yeah, because
You cannot.
yes. So
he's
why would you
very
call?
He's
Why would you call and
controlling the
try to
flow
make an
of the
argument with
Tell
him?
you
conversation.
what, shut something down.
Well, like I
If
said, they all
like
sought
me, for
validation,
instance,
or they
for
thought they
me,
were the one to prove
I
it
don't watch
wrong.
Fox News because they talk stuff that I don't like. So I don't turn on the channel. If you didn't like it so much, you should have turned it off and he would have went away. But somebody kept on looking at it and looking at it and looking at
Women,
it to get him all them views.
Because women
women,
knew that it
and the
was
rest
true,
of us
though.
couldn't escape
You
it.
can't really
Because I
blame
can't say I
somebody
watched
I
who
it.
wants to take the abuse.
Listen,
I
I
can't say I
agree.
watched
I
it
agree
because
with a
I
lot of
couldn't
things
escape
Kevin
it.
Samuel was saying because the thing is that a lot of women are standing on there, and the reason why they're single, and the whole point of his thing was about coming to women now because he's trying to speak to men, and the man didn't fight what he was saying. They kind of agreed that they need to get their shit together. But women are in another world. They don't
No,
think they need
that's
to
not
get
what
their
he
shit
said.
together. That they're perfectly fine.
But let's
They're
not
coming
put
in
falsity
perfectly.
out there. That's not why he stopped talking to me. He stopped talking to men because men did not listen. Men did not embrace the
No, that
correction.
wasn't. No, that wasn't
that's
No,
not.
true.
Yeah, that's not the reason
No.
he
That
stopped
wasn't
talking to me.
true.
No, that's not true.
Yeah,
He started. His
yeah.
point was about bringing the black family
how many times
together,
my
and at the
friend
end of the
done
day,
told me when I wasn't
women
doing
are
right
too
and
concerned
I had
about
to
the
change?
wrong things.
Yeah.
Women are too far concerned about the wrong
Men,
things, and they're
yo,
finding themselves
yo,
unmarried
this the
and
crazy
in a
thing.
situation where they put themselves into. So I do feel
Men,
like
this
he was
the,
trying to
All right. Let's do this.
But yeah,
'Cause this is a good conversation,
we need
but
to.
we kind of
Yeah, we need
segued
to start
into
a
this
different
way
topic.
too far. Yeah, I mean,
No,
we
it
kind of
still has to do
segued
with
into this
marriage, though,
way
bro.
too far. We
No,
we we,
Yeah, it
we
let's
in
get
too
do.
to
deep
marriage.
on this
It
one.
do though. Yeah,
Huh?
it do.
You said what?
No, what Kyle
This
said,
has to
it
do
do
with
kind of
marriage.
do with marriage. Yeah,
But Kevin Samuels wasn't married,
because
so like, I mean,
yeah,
you shouldn't.
no, but
Kevin
it
said
don't matter.
the step before marriage. You don't get to
Yeah, he
marriage
said
if you don't take
he was
those
2
steps.
times he was divorced before. He was
Yeah.
married and divorced. But the thing about it is, what I was saying is, it's like, okay, what was he
Okay.
saying so bad? His
I
tone might have not. His tone was just very direct. Because if
You know what I'm
he
not
was
gonna
saying,
ever think about when I talk to people? How they take it. I'm gonna say it the way I want to say it, and if you don't like it, you have to either move on or don't listen to me. I'm
because
not like sitting up there
hey,
saying you
yo,
gotta
listen,
listen to
Yeah, but
me.
you
Well,
You,
tell me
Kyle,
what
you
you
can't walk
told
around like
somebody
that, because
before.
then you can get, there's consequences with things you say. Because if you say something
No,
wrong to somebody,
he
you
was
can't find
always
yourself in the
willing to take it.
circumstances. So you do have to
no,
be
I'm not.
mindful of how you speak to
Yeah, and
people.
I agree with that. I'm
No, you
not
don't.
saying that tone. I'm
well,
not saying that tone don't matter at all, because
You're
it do. I
responsible
do
for
agree
the
with.
things you say.
No, yeah, I do agree with Iris with
Yeah,
that.
I am
Tone does
responsible,
matter to
but that
a
means
certain
you don't
extent.
watch me no
But
well,
I
more.
felt
Am I
like,
correct?
he was being
first of all, the
direct.
things he said,
He was just being
nothing nobody
direct.
says is all wrong. Nothing he
No,
said was all wrong
there's
or
certain
all
things
right.
I disagree
A
with
lot
when
of
he
people were
do,
looking for a lot of men were
but
looking for a daddy, and when he popped up, that's what he became for a lot. He became deionized. But the fact of the matter is, you can look
I
this
don't
up.
agree with
He
I don't
that.
agree
said,
with that.
if I
I
talk
don't
to
agree with
women,
that.
when
He was
he
just
said I
speaking.
had to look up the quote.
Iris,
He
you know what
said,
he was doing?
wait a
Iris,
minute.
you
He
know what he was
said,
doing?
if I bashed women on my
He wasn't
platform, it will
bashing
take
them.
off because the
He
men
was
don't want
not
to hear the
bashing.
truth.
He
And
was
when
not
he did
bashing
it,
them
it
though.
worked, and he stood there. But let's not act like we don't know how he
No,
got there. The man said it. You can
no.
look up the
No,
quote.
because the
Iris,
video
he
that he
wasn't
Even
got,
I
bashing
had to
Kevin
that
go.
went
Samuels
I had to
only
go
viral.
find the
ever
quote.
dealt with women.
I had to go
He was
find the quote.
burying
He
dudes.
said that.
He was
But hold
burying
on,
them, and he was like,
Iris. Iris, he
yeah,
was.
you right.
Iris,
Yeah.
he was not bashing. They saying the daddy.
He
No,
was,
Kevin Samuels was just, you know what Kevin Samuels was doing? He was just speaking out loud what a lot of men feel. That's
yeah.
all he was doing. He was
Like
just
I
saying it
said, I
out loud.
found men
He was just
run
saying, he
around
was
this
saying
man.
how a
There's a
lot
lot
of
of
men,
women. There's a lot of women who speak, and I'm not going to quote them or hang on their every word. I had a mama and a daddy. So when I
no,
listen to
not
Kevin
saying,
Samuels, I can hear him. I have never heard grown men parrot another man like this in my entire life, especially on things that
You
were just
listening
matter of
from
fact
you
wrong.
listening to
Some of it
men
was
tell you
absolutely
that
correct. Some of it was
so let
absolutely correct.
me,
But the
he
thing
was
that
saying
men
things
liked
that
was
he said
watching
things
women
a
be
lot of
humble. They
people
liked
will not
women
say.
being put in their
yeah,
place.
Just
They
like telling
he
enjoyed
women
it.
said,
that, yeah, I'm
he
not really
said,
interested in what
yeah,
you do.
and see, and that's the problem. Like, I'm not
And he
trying to,
and that's why
I
men
do,
like him because
no,
yeah, he's
I,
we're not interested.
no, I agree with Iris that some men took him wrong also. Like they
Yeah,
went overboard with
that's
the
fact.
6-figure stuff. So I do agree with that. I don't agree 100%, but most of the things he was saying, the reason why I think women is taking it wrong why they took to him. They took to him, men took to him so strong because he was saying what a lot of men is feeling, but just cannot say or won't say or scared to say. And women won't accept that. Women just don't want to accept that.
He said it
He
out
was
loud,
saying it wasn't saying because he
word
was
for
trying to
word,
be a
what goes through a
daddy
man's
or
mind.
nothing. Because, like I said, I don't agree 100% with
Especially the
everything
thing
he
about
said.
the with the kids. That was
But
1,000,000,000% on track. Nobody
yeah,
wants
he was
nobody else's
saying,
kids to raise.
but it's just that a lot of men are afraid to express themselves in that
I
way
disagree with
because
that.
they're afraid to lose. They're afraid to lose something. But I learned in my life, listen, in order for me to be happy, I got to be straight up and communicate. I got to be 100% straight up. But a lot of men is afraid to do that, and he was just communicating out loud with a lot of dudes sitting at home feeling. And that's why guys took to him. It wasn't because of
Yeah,
some
I
put
disagree
down
with
the
a lot of
woman
it though, because
thing.
it did things like put women at it did things like make women centric and it's pushed this really odd thing that a lot of men I keep hearing in talking points where single mothers become the problem of
That's always been
the child
since the 80s
where
that I thought.
the man now is completely absolved of the responsibility of creating a
No,
child. If you cannot be a leader as a man,
no.
like I tell my
That's
sons,
what
your
I don't agree
seed
when he
is
say that.
valuable. Your seed is
Oh, when he
That's
said
valuable.
bullshit.
what? Oh,
You
when he
as
said
a
what?
When he
man,
talking about
Oh,
because the women, once you get them pregnant, it's still up to her. I don't believe that part. That's
Yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah.
no, the man and the woman got to take care of this child.
No, but he says like once the seed is made, it's still her decision that she has to do the final. If the man didn't want it, she should get rid of it and all that crap. That's bull.
Yeah.
Like it's
Well,
not
yeah,
his fault
I don't
if
agree
he
with
didn't
that,
want
but
it and you
No,
still had it.
let's
No.
keep it a bean. Let's keep it a bean.
No, I agree. I
He
agree
was
with him when he says if women choose to have the child and the man doesn't want the child, then I agree that the woman should be responsible solely for the child.
No.
Nah.
I think so.
do you know
If
if
you
you
make a
I think so.
mistake,
You know
that's a
why?
mistake you made.
right
Because
You got
now,
to deal with
if
women
it.
you
women
stop
need to start taking
single
accountability
mothers,
for themselves
if you
and
have
their behavior.
if you stop,
But that's not
first
only
of
on the
all, if
women
you
because the
when you
fact
lay
that you
down with a
sitting up here
person,
and you have sex, so you just let him. So if y'all go in the bank and rob the bank and y'all don't get caught, but you still got the money, you're the only bank robber. No, that's corny. You went in the bank with him and done the crime, and both of y'all did the act, so y'all should both be responsible.
Yeah,
No
but
matter
since the
who
choice,
I agree.
but since the
yeah,
choice
you
is
still
only
got to
hers
make
to
that
keep,
mistake.
since the choice is only hers to keep and it's not up to him, then if she's
No,
not considering
it's
him
still
in the
his
choice
fault.
of keeping the child,
No,
then yes,
because he could have prevented that.
you have to be prepared to take
but
full
you know what's
responsibility of the
problematic
child,
with
and that's
that?
what I believe.
The problem with that is number one, the population of black people would tank. If you allow men to just tell women you don't get an abortion, I'm not going to do anything. So women
Yeah,
now started
that's
having
crazy.
mass abortions. We're already in decline.
Yep.
We're already in decline. We have the largest percentage of children born out of wedlock. If you stop out of wedlock births, you are only the only thing that would happen is you will probably create object poverty because most women's child support isn't that high. Most women's child, like my ex-husband, his child support is what, $125 a month. I can't get that.
Damn.
But I'm not pressed about his $125. It's not gonna it's not gonna harm me to not have it. But to tell women that if a man, first of all, it would be mass abortions. You would have you it would be so bad on bodies. Number two, even with that being said, some people don't believe in that. Right now, we have a thing where now they're making it illegal to do that.
Yeah,
So
that's
even
crazy.
with
That's
it
true.
being illegal in some states, that's not going to stop the birth rate. So now, if it's
What I'm
illegal,
saying is
nobody has the choice.
women need to start taking responsibility for their body. When it comes down to if you're laying down with this guy and you know that this guy
Yeah,
is not, listen,
but you
having
don't
sex,
know
you
that.
know you're taking a risk, right? So if you're not protecting yourself while you're having sex, you're taking a grand risk. Now you're making that choice with your body to, because you're the one, if the guy can leave you and you're stuck with a child, right?
Yep.
And it happens all the time. So do you want to take that risk? Is this guy worth the risk? And a lot of
Yeah,
women are
but it's
not
still
doing
his
that. They're just
fault.
laying down with guys without protecting themselves. They know this guy is not a husband material, a father material. They can't do nothing for you, but then they want him all the time they expect him to do all these things that they know he wasn't when you get pregnant.
Well, the thing is, why would that be only on the woman? Because most people don't know that they're with the devil until they've been with the devil for a while. So
That's true.
So then why
typically,
you giving
if you've been
yourself
Well,
to
with
the
no,
devil?
because
That's
I
why
don't
women need
agree.
to
I'm gonna
be.
give
Hold
you, for
on,
instance,
I don't
my
agree with that. I
oldest
don't agree
son,
with that.
as soon as I started trying to be active, I got pregnant with him. So if I were
I don't.
to his
No, I'm sorry.
father,
Go
if
ahead.
I were to be like, no, I'm not going to have my child. First of all, I'm young, inexperienced. This baby is conceived. Now, if I'm like, oh, I'm not going to have you, or I'm going to give it up to your father to decide what we're going to do, we're in a really tricky space. We're in a very, very tricky
No,
space.
I'm not.
Now, that 28
I'm
year
not
old
saying give
young
it to the
man,
father to decide what we're gonna do. I'm just saying to have to consider, right? You have to consider everything, not just be selfish and be like, I'm going to have it anyways. Because if you do making that choice selfishly, then you have to deal with the consequences that
There's a
come with
lot of
making that
married men
choice,
who
right?
would make their wives, if they, a lot of married men. I got friends who are married whose husbands didn't want those babies, even married.
Yeah, that's
My
deep
thing
though.
is,
They didn't want it. They like, no, I don't want it.
I agree
I mean,
both
I'm
ways.
not gonna
Like,
lie. My last child, I wasn't trying to have a baby. I was like, oh no. But I was like, oh, sometimes it happens. He's the joy of my life. So it's tricky when we talk about life and we don't talk about a system that holds everybody accountable and says, okay, this is what we're going to do. Because at the end of the day, if a man creates a child, he should not be able to walk away from that child. Now,
I
should
agree with
he
that.
he should not be able to walk away from that child. Now, but men do it all the time. They do it all
now,
the time. And women
I
have been doing
agree.
that. However, the only thing I will agree with you on is the fact that there needs to be a collective conversation around what we're doing and how we're picking fathers, because I believe that we need to be married before we having a baby. You need to be
Me
married.
too.
But that's what I'm
And I
saying,
Now,
think
that if
that
now,
most
now, now,
girls
listen.
are,
Now,
even though
listen.
when I had my
I,
son, I wasn't married, and it could have went either way, right? Me and Vern wasn't married, and I got pregnant, and we wasn't even officially together, right? So, but I made the choice, and when I made the choice to say, if he walks away, I'm still choosing my child. That's a choice I was gonna live with. You know what I'm saying? So the choice was mine ultimately, whether he wanted it or not. And I feel like, you know, thank God our circumstances are different, right? And I don't have to deal with, we're together, we're married, we have family, all these things. Yes. But what I'm saying is that ultimately the choice was mine. And yes, I had to deal with the consequences of me being reckless. You know what I'm saying? I was being
Well,
reckless.
I wasn't
I
reckless.
wasn't
I was on the
protecting
birth
myself.
control and it didn't work.
see, now I agree on both
My
ends.
husband and
Like,
I was sitting in the doctor's office with our mouth open together like,
I agree on both ends. I agree that the women got to be accountable, but I do think the man got to be accountable, even if he don't want the baby, whatever. I do feel like he do got to be accountable. You know what
Everybody
I mean?
got to be
Even
accountable because he
yeah,
knew what he
everybody,
was doing when he
everybody got to
laid
be
down raw
everybody
diggity.
got to be accountable. Now, I do say this to these women. I don't agree when he's saying a lot of times these women get the red flags and they ignore them, and they, you know what I mean, and they get pregnant by this not shit guy, and they saw those red flags, and then they want to act surprised afterward when they knew they got these red flags beforehand. He was showing you flags. He was giving you
And
flags
now they're
all
the
along.
victim.
Yeah, now you want to be the victim afterward, and I don't
Like,
like that.
oh, you're no good dad, you're no
it's
good
such
this,
a
but you know he
Yeah,
challenging
was
thing
no
let
when
good.
them.
we talk about red flags, because red flags, a lot of people think that now, because of a red flag, that you can predict the course of a relationship, and you can't.
No, but what
There
I'm
are
saying
red
is
flags, of
he.
course. There are things that are absolute deal breakers if a person's abusive, things like that. But typically,
Red flags,
when we get
if
with
you don't have a
people,
job,
when we're new to people, we will hold on to our ideals and our forgiveness and those things, because that's how relationships thrive. You have to have those abilities to be forgiving and things like that. So a lot of times when we say red flags, I think for a lot of young people who are entering, we need to be very specific about what they are, because I see some people who run from relationships very quickly because everything is a red flag.
Well,
And
what
so
I'm
therefore
saying
they
is,
don't know
well,
to
I'm
look
saying
out for
I'm.
things like a
Well,
person who is
what I'm.
lying to you, or a person
Well,
who's
what
like
I'm.
being very specific about what's a red flag that's maybe a pink flag, or a red flag that's a
well,
get
to
out of
me,
here.
red
No,
flags,
well,
speaking about conceiving a child, like these are red flags. If he don't have a job, if you're broke, if he is a kid, these are red flags that you'd be like, okay, I need to protect myself, because if I get pregnant right now, what's going to happen? Do I want to make the choice of having to get rid of a child? Like that's a big choice on a woman, to having to
Mhm.
make that decision, right? So it's like, as a young woman, as a young girl, young woman, you want to be sexually active. I know it happens, but it's about being sexually active responsibly. It's protecting yourself. And, there's only about pregnancies, a lot of disease. There's a lot of sexual transmitted disease out there. And a lot of young girls and boys are, being burned out there. There's a lot of sexual transmitted disease, and they just think that, just that moment of passion, is, a lot can come with that. So it's like
Absolutely.
being responsible.
I'm just
Absolutely.
saying, a lot of these women, they get big red flags, and they ignore them a lot of times. So I don't think it's about the forgiveness. They get some big time red flags, and they just skip over it, and then they play the victim afterward. Oh, this guy ain't all right. So okay, baby number one, you made this mistake, baby number one. But what about baby number 4? You want baby number 4 now with this guy that you know what I mean, that ain't shit. But you're gonna call him, he ain't shit, he ain't nothing, he ain't this. So what do that make you? Cause he done showed you after baby number 1 that he ain't nothing, but you kept opening your legs, opening your legs, opening your legs, opening your legs. So you gotta start taking the accountability. And a lot of women don't take that accountability. They just say, oh, this man, you got 4 kids with him. He showed you that after the first one he ain't shit, but now you call him deadbeat this, deadbeat that, he ain't nothing. Da, 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 da. All right, where your accountability for having all these kids with him, knowing that he wasn't nothing?
Look,
And
Tyree
a
said
lot
he
of
was a
women don't want to take
14-year-old
that
dad.
accountability.
Tyree wasn't ready to be a dad. Like, to make that decision in that time, it's like those are all red flags. Unfortunately, a lot of kids do not have obviously the guidance they need, right? When they're actually this young, doing adult stuff, right? Being
I know,
sexually active.
but
But
Tyree didn't
that's
have
something
4
that
big.
Tyree wasn't ready to do at 14. He wasn't ready to be
I know
a
he wasn't
dad.
ready to do that at 14,
Yeah.
but Tyree didn't have 4 kids by this woman. What I'm saying is these
No, I'm not
women
talking
lay down.
about that. I'm
I
just
was
talking
one
about
and
in
done.
general. I'm saying, like,
I know
whoever
what you're saying. I know what you're saying in general, but a lot of these women that's grown keep laying down with this man, having babies with this man that ain't nothing, and then they want to have all these big complaints about how men ain't shit afterward.
Can
But
y'all hear
you
us on
not
You
TikTok?
picked
If
the
y'all can
one
hear us
you
on
messing
TikTok,
with
hit
ain't
1.
it.
If y'all can hear the whole
No, but that's what I'm
conversation,
saying. A lot of
give me
these
the number
women
1.
do that though. A lot of these women do that though. They lay down with, they continually lay down with the same man who's done he done repeatedly showed you this who I am. And you keep laying down with this
If
man,
y'all can
having
hear us on
babies with
TikTok,
him, but then you
hit the
want to
number 1.
afterward.
sometimes it don't even have to be with
Well,
the
the
same man. It
biggest
can be
one
with
is
the
with, like we
same
saw on Love and Hip
kind
Hop
type
with
of
the
prototype
dueling baby mamas,
of another
where
man.
one have a baby and then the other
You
one
know,
have a baby, and this one have a
You said,
baby,
well,
and they feel like they one
who on
upping
Love
each
and Hip
other by
Hop?
having deadbeat.
You
Huh?
said, well, who on Love and Hip Hop? Who on Love and
If
I
Hip
y'all
said
can
Hop?
hear
like
the
on Love and Hip
conversation,
Hop, like Peter
hit number
Guns
1.
with
If y'all can hear the
Amina
conversation on
Butterfly and the
TikTok.
other one, and they're having babies back and forth, back and forth. It's just I've seen the most ridiculous stuff.
So that's what I'm saying.
ridiculous.
But then these women will go after that and paint all men ain't shit. Oh, all these men ain't nothing.
Nah, the
No,
one
but
you picked ain't
so
it.
what do that make you if you keep what do that make you if you keep laying down with these not shit men? What do that
But
make you?
society has made women like they can be victim. Like, instead of, and I don't like that too. Like, at the end of the day, women want to be feminists, right? And you have to be being a feminist is like, okay, you're trying to be equal as men, you have to take the heat like a man too. But they don't want that. They still want to be the
They don't
victim,
want to take the
the
heat.
damsel in distress. And at the end of the day, you can't have it all.
Yeah, if you want to act like the man, you gotta take the responsibility like the man.
Yeah.
A man can't talk to you a type of way because you're a woman, but then you want to have all the rights as men do. But man can be spoken to any type of way, and they have to suck it up and deal with it. So it's like, we don't know what we want in society as women. We want everything, all the above, and at the same time
Well,
be the
I think
damsel in
it comes down
distress.
to mutual
And it's
respect.
like we
I
have to
think
check out what we want instead of being so
I,
bipolar. Like, we
yeah,
want this, but then we don't
I
want
think
this like this.
I think it comes down to mutual respect, because I keep hearing feminism thrown around, and when you throw
What happened right there? Oh.
I'm sorry, when you throw feminism out there, and can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Can
Yes.
y'all
Yeah,
hear
when you
us on
throw
TikTok?
feminism,
Can y'all
when
hear
you
us on
throw
TikTok?
feminism
Put the
out
number
there,
one in the
and
chat. Put the number one in the chat if you can hear us on TikTok.
when we throw feminism out there and we say feminism, the issue with that becomes the idea that women had to have certain things fixed. We couldn't vote. We couldn't own a bank account. We couldn't do anything for ourselves. So when we talk about the waves of feminism, feminism in itself is not bad. However, the issue
No,
becomes not about women not being able to
I
take
agree.
accountability. The issue becomes about what are we trying to say is the new norm, because a woman should not be disrespecting a man in a way that she does not want to receive it back. As a person and as a human, that man now deserves the grace, because society and the patriarchy has set up systems that are not good for either group. It is not good for the woman and it is not good for the men, because or everybody is following this pecking order that says women are this and men are that. The fact of the matter is women and men are equal but not the same. And a lot of people don't want to understand that concept.
But the
However, as a woman, I'm not going to be yelling and screaming up in a man's face, because I don't want a man yelling and screaming in mine. It makes us have to give the respect that we want to see given back. And a lot of times, a lot of women do want to play victim. They do want to say, "We're no, sweetheart. The same thing you feel, the same invalidation." That's why we see so many men screaming on podcasts and being unhappy and speaking and using their voice. Don't give him water this late because he's going to use the bathroom. Sorry.
but we also
It
have
is
to.
a situation in which we see that with women and with men, what we want is not that far off. We want to be respected. We want to feel safe. We want to feel heard. We want to feel validated. However, for
And we want
women
love.
to totally disregard the needs of men because they're men, so if he has emotions now, he's weak. If he does all of the things that men have to endure at the hands of women, is simply rooted in the fact that they still don't believe in equal.
But it also
They
has to
say
be
equal, but
distinguished,
they
Yeah.
don't
especially in
want equal.
feminism.
And when I
Because
say
feminism, hold on.
feminism, I speak about modern day feminism. I
Yeah,
feel
well,
like the extreme, it has become extreme. It hasn't become about the rights of women like originally it was. It has become, everything is about, it's just so extreme. Like this whole Me Too movement, the whole Black Lives Matter, everything that's become a movement has become so extreme, and it has lost its original sense. And when I
Yeah.
speak of
Now.
feminism, I don't speak about the original when it talks about voting, when it talks about women being treated a certain way, with respect, and being viewed as equal. I'm a feminist, but when I'm talking about the extreme side of feminism and what it has become in today's society, I feel like we lost track of the meaning of the fight. We lost track. We just went too far
yeah.
left.
Like even when I talk about feminism, like you just said, it, it's for one, in my honest opinion, is rooted in white supremacy, because like black women don't have no right to be in that movement, because for one, black men ain't a part of
You said
patriarchy.
women. Hold on. You said
Black
women or
women should
black
not be
women?
a part of no feminist group,
Oh, you said
because
black women. Okay,
black
go ahead.
men has never been a part of the patriarchy, have never. So for black women to feel like they have to go fight on these sides of with those women that really don't even have your best interest in mind, they only using you as a weapon, they weaponizing you. Black women should not be over there. But I understand it
You said
because now they use women. They know how to use trigger words. Us women need to stand together, and us women need to go fight, because they generalize men. And then they got black women looking at us black men like we're part of the problem, when we have a part, we didn't have a part in making the rules, we didn't have a part in making the laws, we didn't have a part in the segregation of the women. So for these and our sisters should be educated enough to understand this. Sisters 60s, when they started this feminist group, our sisters ain't getting nothing. but these other women been getting all the benefits, but you still showing up to fight for these women. And it don't make no sense to me when I talk about feminism. And I sit back, I'm like, yo, like, what are y'all getting? But
I agree with you, Terry, but then also if you think about it, women can stand against the white power structure as well.
You said what now?
Women can stand against.
She said, "How is black men not in the patriarchy?"
Because we didn't make the rules. We didn't write not one
rules,
law
but
in the
you benefit
Constitution.
from them. It's like
what do we benefit?
Women benefit from white supremacy, even though they were second-class citizens to their men.
At what
because
point?
you are a man, wait a minute, we all uphold the patriarchy. We all uphold the patriarchy. When we say that our husbands are going to go out and work, and that as women we're less than and we have to submit to a man, if you believe that, you're in part of the patriarchy.
No,
And don't hit me
the
with the biblical
patriarchy.
sense of it, because the Bible has been also switched to be very male dominant. So as we sit here and talk about all of these things and say whatever, we all uphold the patriarchy. No. We all uphold it because it's the system we were born into. And black men absolutely align with it and promote it and drive themselves crazy. Like I said, when I hear black men who are not high earners repeat patriarchal
yes, I
like
agree.
women at home and men not in the workplace, all of those things are patriarchal ideas. When we sit up here and say that we're not going to do equal labor in the house, that is part of the patriarchy. That is what we are talking about. A male-centric way of seeing the world.
Tyree's talking about the rules in the United States. Black men still follow those.
That's the ideology the feminist group had did to the black sisters, because you're talking personal stuff versus these other women are fighting a system of the patriarchy, and they got y'all thinking that us black men is part of the whole system of the patriarchy, which black men never benefited from it. Never benefited from it. If we benefited from it, crack cocaine. Hold on, we benefited from it. Crack cocaine, guns, privatized prisons, and segregation, redlining wasn't even been a thing. The patriarchy.
That's white supremacy. We're talking patriarchy. But that deals with male and female roles. That's the
patriarchy. That's the same patriarchy that these feminist groups is so-called fighting. That's the same.
Sorry, but black women has benefited from feminism. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Name something.
Black women has.
What did they benefit?
Black women has benefited from feminism because look how many black women are educated. Look how many black women vote. Look how many black women are professionals.
What you mean? How many black women are educated? Education in America, anybody can go to school now.
I know, but before you couldn't, especially if you were a woman.
You said what?
You couldn't before. Women couldn't go to school and get educated, especially black women. Black women have to be nannies.
Hold on, white women has never. There's never been a point in time where white women couldn't go to school. Now you're saying that as a woman of color, but you're not saying that because they were segregating just women. Black men couldn't do none of this stuff neither. So you're not.
I know, but you're saying the fight. You're saying the fight. The black women didn't benefit from the fight, the feminist movement, and they did. Because at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with black women going against the white power structure as well. And because they dare to, now they also are reaping some benefits.
Today they being fooled because first of all, they sending false messages, because I hear a lot of this stuff about these absentee fathers, which a lot of that is false. Your relationship, you may not have it how you want it, but that is false. Like we was having this conversation about just our block in general.
Yep.
Most of us dudes, and it was a lot of dudes that I came up with, and mostly all of them is taking care of their kids. Yep. But they put out this narrative that black men ain't shit, black men don't take care of their kids, which is false.
Yep.
We all got some
but you're talking about your generation. The same way you said the people you grew up with didn't have fathers. There was a time that there was no fathers in the household.
Time out. Hold on. We talking about they still talking this stuff right now. They're not talking about back in the day. They're not talking about back in the day. They still talking these things right now. They saying black men ain't nothing. Huh?
I am a professor at a historically black college. I teach communication. The first speech that my students have to do is on the person they admire. 80% of those speeches are the mother. I have had young men cry, break down at disproportionate rates due to absenteeism of their fathers.
And why is
Even
that?
when their fathers had access to them, underparenting them or not being in their
How do
lives.
you,
But
how
most
do
black
you,
men,
how
most
do you
black
know that
men.
they've had
Wait a
access?
minute, can I finish my point?
Okay,
The
go ahead.
ones who benefit from having their father just be in their lives,
This is my.
whether they're with their mother or not, are by far more settled, more fulfilled, or whatever. But there is a mass brokenness of
So you
I
young
know,
saying?
but
and
Irish, you're
Well, hold
women.
going
on,
off
Vern.
of
Let me
your
get this.
experience. Hold on, Tyree, I'm gonna
I'm
let you
not
go.
going
Let
to,
me
I've
just
been
say
an
this, right?
educator. I've been an educator for almost 30 years. I have
I know,
been
but
in, I have taught in the states of New York City, Atlanta, Georgia, and in here now in Virginia. And what I will tell you is the data doesn't lie.
Okay, and
Now,
and
there
what is
are
the
a lot
data
of
saying?
men
Hold
all
on,
who
right,
are
hold
what
involved.
is
on.
the
Listen,
Let
data
let me
me.
finish.
saying?
There
Can I
are
get
a
this?
lot of men who are absolutely involved with their children. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is there's a large portion who are not. And
Okay.
that is a fact.
Now
But
let's hold
that's what
on,
every
Vern. Let me
race.
get this. Let me get this.
But that's
Now let's now let's
Tyree, I'm
lay.
about to let you go. Hold on. Let me just get this. I'm about to let you go. What I'm saying is that's with every race. But they specifically, that's with the white man, the Asian man, the Latino man. But they especially put that on the black man. And like I said, we grew up on a neighborhood with mad dudes our age, especially our block. Our block was all dudes. And all these dudes, like I said, mostly all of them is taking care of their kids.
Yep.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's this
And
narrative out there.
no,
Like,
now let me tell you why the narrative.
Yeah, but
Hold
that's
on.
a new movement now,
No,
Vern.
no,
Those
it's
kids are
not a
still
new
not
move.
in
No,
college.
no,
He's
no,
not
no,
seeing
no,
those
no.
kids in
Hold
college
on.
yet.
Let me break
They're
it
just starting
down
to go to
because
college.
you can see,
But
you can
the
actually
kids
see.
before didn't have that.
Let me say this because you can actually see what happened. Because it is not the fact that the black fathers didn't want to be present. We can look at from the 70s, 80s, and the 90s when they put the drugs in the privatized prisons in the black community, and then in the 90s started locking away all the black fathers. That was strategically and systematically done in our generation. So we experienced that. We experienced that. There's no way we could have been a part of that patriarchy and allowed that to happen. So when I talk about this stuff happening in the black community, it's because we lived through it. Now look at it now. Now look at it now. From coming from a man who didn't grow up with a father. I'm a father of 5 kids. I can't imagine not being in their life other than being institutionalized. You don't think the fathers that's now getting out of jail for them petty crimes that they locked them up for 20 years for, is still now they want to be a part of their kids' life, but it's kind of hard because their kids are adults. So we can see the progression of when the we can see
or the women
one of
is
the
looking at
biggest
them a
things I
certain way
think a
now.
lot of men could help themselves if they understood this.
how?
Peekaboo parenting is not parenting. Peekaboo parenting is what a lot of men do. And so recently there was a photo, for instance, floating around social media where the dads were all there for the daddy-daughter tea, but probably half of those were the uncles or the brothers standing in for the dads that were not there. A lot of men do not understand that making appearances in your child's life is not parenting.
Well, you
That's
don't
not
know that
parenting.
though.
That's photo
That's
op.
not.
Number
But
two, a lot of women
that's
need to
but that's
realize
but
just
that's
because
that's
that
not.
man
I
don't
don't
want
think that's
you
true.
does not mean you get to cut
that's
off his
kind of
access to his
that's
child. So
That's
you
kind of
a lot of
extreme to
that's
women
say.
who get in the way
yeah,
because that man
that's
don't
kind
want
of
them, and
disingenuous
so
though. That's
now
kind of
they cut the father
disingenuous.
out the child's life because the father don't want to be with them. So the
No,
woman
I
now
don't.
starts making it
That's kind
hell for
of
this man to come
I
around his
see.
kid.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
I don't like
I don't
that,
like
Vern,
What,
that.
because
peekaboo
it's like
parenting
a
is not
genuine.
parenting?
Yeah, no, I'm not saying there are guys that do pickable parenting,
I'm
but
not talking
like I
about all.
said,
I'm talking about specific specific issues.
I know,
Peekaboo
but
parenting, a lot of men will do that. They'll
no,
post on social media, they'll do that, and then you have the mothers who get in the father's way because he don't want her, so now she
I know,
won't
but
let him have access to his child.
Why is peekaboo parenting or all this put on the black man? Because it's
I
happening.
didn't say it was.
It's happening.
I said a parent.
No, but I'm just
We
saying
could
is
get
I'm
a
saying
lot of
is I know, but what I'm saying is this is happening in all races, but they make the black man the boogeyman.
No, but Vern,
we have the largest.
Let me say this. Let me say this. The thing is,
and what a lot of the data
no, we don't.
doesn't
No, we
give
don't.
for
We
is,
don't got the biggest
wait a minute,
percentage.
let me finish my point. The data, because there's a lot of single mother homes, they don't give data for people who, for instance, are raising a child together but not married, and they don't give data for fathers who are in their child's life even though they're not married to the mother. So therefore, they try to push it on the black people like it's only black men who are having some disconnect in parenting, and that's not true, because a man could not be with a woman and still raise his child. But they don't account for that.
And we're not going to talk about. And the thing about it, we're not going to talk about all the black men that's raising other men's kids as step parents,
or women raising other women's kids. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
it goes both ways.
Yeah, that does go both. That does go both ways.
We're not saying it don't go both ways, but that's what I'm saying. But what we're saying is they make the black man the boogeyman.
Yeah,
they make the black man the boogeyman.
And this is the thing.
No one's making. Right now, we're talking about black men, so it sounds like we're making the black man the boogeyman.
No,
and that's how it's always going to sound. When we're talking about a group of people in particular, it sounds like we're attacking the one group of people. But if that's a topic of conversation, it's going to come across that way.
No, but we stand in society right now, they're making the black man the boogeyman. And a lot of these black women is running around also making the black man the boogeyman.
But you know what? Like I said, Vern,
a lot of these men
this everybody's adding to the narrative.
But hold on, let me say this. We're going to have to wrap it up after this. The thing is, it's a straw man argument. It's a straw man argument when you look at the root cause of what caused all these black men to not be home, not be in the houses by the prison rates and all the petty crimes that they lock these men up for 10, 20, 30 years for these petty crimes. So until we are willing to address that elephant in the room, saying, yeah, black men ain't there. Yes, it was some deadbeats. And it was some deadbeats, but for the most part, they put a lot of black men in prison for petty crimes for a long period of time in the 70s, 80s, and the 90s, and they put the rest of them on drugs. And it was a small percentage that was out there that was still active, but we gotta address the fact what they did systematically to black men. Is like right there, but we lived through that. We lived through that. I seen it with my own eyes. We know the history of it.
About the housing.
So like even with the subsidized housing, that was part of the segregation. The man couldn't be a part of his child's life. He couldn't even financially do the right thing for the woman, because if she got over a certain amount of money, her housing got taken from her. So it was all this stuff was systematically done. And it's sad because I'm hearing a lot of our sisters indirectly and directly pretty much say, well, black men ain't this, black men ain't that, because they were this. We understand that, and nobody's disputing that. But we got to get to the root cause of why this happened.
Okay, but we already know the root cause. The thing is that I'm aware of the root cause. It's about how do we move forward. And it's about how can we move forward. You know, we can't keep blaming the past, even though the past has a lot of fault. It's about what can I do today?
And that's a good question. What can we do today?
And make a difference.
And you got your answers right in front of your eyes, because you want to know why? A lot of men are active fathers. A lot of black men are active fathers today. I can honestly say without a shadow of doubt, I don't have now one friend who is not active in his family life, in his kid's life, whether he with the girl or not. I ain't got not one friend who's out there playing who ain't seeing none of his kids. So I don't, and as far as my son play football and there's nothing but dads out there. So you know, I don't know if a lot of women being disingenuous because the men is not with them no more, and there could be a whole bunch of petty stuff going on behind the scenes. But I know for a fact that I got some homies that's real active and want to stay active in their children in their children's lives. Period.
I think it's two things at play though, because we have a thing, like I said, yeah, there are dads who are involved, but there are a lot of women who are married and feel like single mothers because of the way the parenting is not equally distributed. So therefore, you have, you know, we talk about parenting. There are those dads who are in the trenches, who are doing the work, who are splitting the duty, and then you got the peekaboo pop dads,
Well, you got
and
to
that,
also
like you
think
said,
about
has
this.
nothing to do with race. Wait a minute, has nothing to do with race. That's just a parenting style, and a lot of men adapt that and think they
And
did something.
it's
So,
something
for
I told my
instance, my
wife,
ex
right?
will pop in town. He will take photo ops. He will show up to the dance concert, and then he will go back off into his life.
Let me
And my first husband can go live his best life and not have to worry about these kids until he has to do it again in another 6 months.
let
And
me say
that's
this.
the way he is.
Women are natural
And
born
it is what it
nurturers.
is.
Women are natural born nurturers. They are mothers. That's who you are. Men is not like that. We're not wired like that. And you trying to, I had to tell my wife this, right? My wife, she's a mother. Like that's who she is. Like she's a mother. She's a natural born nurturer. And I had to tell my wife was doing this, that, and the third around the house. And I had to tell her, why you feel like you have to always jump to do this stuff? And the first thing she said, I'm a mom. I said, I understand that you're a mom, but you could prioritize, because at the end of the night, you saying I'm exhausted, my feet hurt, this and the third. Prioritize. Me personally, now hear me out. I'm one of those people that I prioritize my time. And once I'm done, I'm done. And now my wife is starting to pick that up. If she said, I'm going to wash clothes, all right, don't feel like you got to wash the whole thing. Wash 2 loads and then go visit another 2 loads 2 days later. That's how I wash clothes. She be like, how you wash all these clothes? I said, because I prioritized it. I don't feel like I have to cramble everything in a day. I always tell my wife, this house ain't going nowhere. It ain't going nowhere. We got 3 dishes in the daggone sink. It ain't going but if you don't do it now, it's gonna pile up. It's gonna pile up. There's only 4 of us in the house. You got 3 teenage boys. Tell them to go clean it up. And I relegate, as a leader, I relegate the responsibility. And I tell her, like, listen, if you prioritize, you will never have to feel like you're doing too much strenuous work. I think I work smart. Before I go into anything, I sit back and I observe it. I observe the scene, and then I put a plan in place and I get to work, because I am not trying to beat myself up. And now my wife will come in, well, she sleep now, but she'll come in and tell you, now that she adopted that, it's been probably like a few years now, she prioritized. Now she's no longer strenuous and stressed out. I got to do this. Now she do get like that sometimes on certain things. But I tell her, like, look, this house ain't going nowhere. That ain't going nowhere. That ain't going nowhere. Prioritize your time. Do not stress yourself out. Yes, I know you're a mother. Yes, I know you want to get things done. But when you prioritize your time and space it out and make it enjoyable, then, you know what I mean, you'll be cool.
It's great, but we can't invalidate the fact that if you spoke to most children and you had them speak, because guess what, my mother wasn't a nurturer, but my dad was my world. My dad still prioritized me. He wanted to love his daughter and connect to his daughter. So therefore, whether you are a nurturer or not, I don't think I'm naturally a nurturer. And I think a lot of women suffer when they're like me and it's not innate to them to be a nurturer, to have to think about what it is and what to pour in and to learn that selflessness. I think men, that's why some women are terrible mothers, and a lot of kids really need their dad and need that balance, because you think the woman got it and she don't necessarily got it either. At the end of the day, one of the biggest things you're hearing crying across social media is women talking about how they hate being moms, how they hate it,
That's true.
how they detest being mothers. I could never detest being a mother. As hard as it was to adjust to or whatever, it has been the most purposeful thing of my life. However, for some women, it is not that, and they don't get to that space, you know. And mothering is a hard thing.
Now the question is, how would you know if you were? I mean, how would you know you didn't want kids if you didn't have kids? And if you didn't want to have kids, you should have already. You see what I'm saying? So like,
I mean, I have a sister who has no
well,
children.
I'm not
I
saying you.
wanted
I'm
my
talking about some of
children.
the. I'm talking about some of the girls on the
And
internet who say they don't want kids, and
Well,
now
because for
it's
women, it feels
difficult.
like something we have to do, like you're supposed to. And another thing that I don't think that men experience like women is that biological clock. It is real. There's
Mm-hmm.
a almost ache that happens that you need to have a child. It is primal. When a woman starts feeling that motherly thing kick in,
Mm-hmm.
it is primal. It is the
Mm-hmm.
most miserable thing to
Yeah.
not be partnered, to not be
but,
able to have
but
a
like
child.
Tyree said,
It is
most kids gravitate towards their mom
By
because
nature,
moms have
that's true.
by nature. By
That's true.
nature, most kids gravitate. So when they say, "Oh, the kids is always," kids naturally gravitate towards their mom.
And let me tell
That's
you
just
what's
the way it
crazy.
is.
I'm
But my
very
son is
active.
gonna run to my husband. My
My
son
But
all
is
my
is
he
running
kids.
to
running?
his
Do he
daddy.
run to your husband? A lot of kids they run to the husband like the dad when they want to play, when they want to like little stuff
Exactly.
like
That's what
that.
I'm
But
saying. There's a balance of what we both give to the child.
Yeah. Well, I could say like I'm very active in all my kids' life, and they still run to their mom to ask me, can they do something? You know what I mean? And my wife gets
exactly.
she gets mad. She's like,
Hmm.
oh, why don't you go ask your dad? And she like and because she's the one, like, but because they know they come to me. I'm the critical thinker. They come to me, ask me for some
Hmm.
money, and I'm like, man, what you do with the last $50 I just gave you 3 days ago? You
Hmm.
see, you see what
It's
I'm
not you're a
saying?
critical thinker. Is that you're quicker to say
No,
no? The mom
they
is
go to
softer. The
mom.
mom,
They go to
we
mom.
give
Mom
in
is going to be more
faster.
softer.
So,
Yeah,
Mom is going to be a lot more
eh,
softer in most of the cases.
my adult kids
yeah,
still do that.
and fold. Mom will fold faster than dad,
Yep.
especially when you have
Not
mom and
over
dad in the
here.
house, and the dad is always the disciplinarian. The mom is the one that is
Not in
not the
my house.
disciplinarian.
But you know
Not in
what?
my
But
house.
guess
It's
what?
gonna be
It's
the
the
opposite.
you know what? It's like that because one of my homies is like that. Like his wife is more of the stricter one, and he's not. And the roles have changed. They always they always
Yeah,
going to
they
daddy.
go to dad
You know what I mean? So,
first.
but it
That's
depends
how it works.
it depends who's the more stricter one. But
Which is
that but
bringing
but
Yeah,
it
who's a
down to my point that
disciplinarian?
each parent brings something unique that that
yes,
child will need. And
yes.
when we understand that, even if I'm not with you and a relationship doesn't work, like as bad as things are with my ex-husband and I don't cut him off from his children.
Mm-mm.
I'm not gonna ever, even though I feel like he's not doing certain things right, he hasn't paid child support, things like that. At the end of the day, that has nothing to do with his relationship with his children.
Mm-mm.
But you
Those
know
are
what a
his
lot of
children.
women do
And that's
that
important.
cuts off the
And
relationship with
bad
the
talking in front of the dad. I mean the
yeah,
kids.
you know what a lot of these women do that cuts off the relationship between the father and the child is that, like I was telling Jennifer, that they will badmouth the father in front of
Mm-mm.
their kids. So that makes the kid build up this resentment naturally towards their father because they're there and they want to protect their mom. They don't see their mom is in the house alone. So then the mom is there. Your dad ain't nothing. Your dad
Absolutely.
ain't shit. Your daddy. Da, 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 da. So now the
Mm-hmm.
child is naturally building up this resentment towards their father.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
But
When
you also had that is you're absolutely right. But quick thing also, and you can also say nothing. Cause like for my daughter, I try so hard to push her toward her father, and she don't want
yeah,
no parts of him because he's shown her
Mm-hmm.
who he is.
but
And
you making
now
my
that
point.
hurt.
But see, you
What
making my
happened?
point. See now if the children are going to naturally see that. Hold
If
on.
you what?
My dad ain't doing what he need to do. And some they're gonna get that.
It's not next to the
But if
building.
I'm gonna
you
go, guys. I'm going.
I gotta go. I have an
Yeah, yeah.
emergency. Bye, y'all.
all right.
All right, man. I
Bye.
think y'all.
And nice speaking. Bye.
uh, shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, we out of here, y'all, man. Thank y'all for timing in, man. Catch us on the Rebuttal Live. Gut and Saint. Click the link in my bio. Click the link in my bio and subscribe to the YouTube channel, man. We be having these discussions all the time, man, on crazy things. I have people on and we just chop it up. We segue into other stuff, but You can catch it on the replay if you want to catch the beginning of it. But make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, man. I appreciate y'all for timing in. This is the Gutter Insane Podcast. Your boy Reese Johnson, and I'm out.